how to be a pro and learning how to approach, obviously, the mental aspect and just getting your body prepared for certain things. So I feel like I kind of hit that hard this offseason.
Yeah, you don't want cheeseburger weight, right? That's not what you want. So you want him to be able to function and maintain his endurance and that. He's extremely athletic, and he's gifted that way. So I think he's able to get away with some things because of that.
All right, a Friday edition of The Zone right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jason Anderson with you, Sterling Holmes, Michael Darcy, Jack Johnson hanging out with us today on a Friday heading up until 2 o'clock. Matt Derrick at 11 o'clock. Mick Schaefer in the noon hour. Lots of stuff to get into and talk about today. World Cup back in action again after 2 matches took place yesterday. Today, Canada's going to take on Bosnia and Herzegovina. I think I got it right. They got to take on 2 countries.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Canada, I mean, I don't know how they got that draw. Why do you have to take on 2 countries? But that's at 2 o'clock today. And then the United States starts their World Cup championship run at 8 o'clock tonight. U.S. taking on Paraguay. We'll see how that goes tonight at 8 o'clock. College World Series gets underway at 1 o'clock today with West Virginia, the Fighting Big 12 Mountaineers. The upstart Mountaineers, the crazy story how West Virginia became a baseball powerhouse all of a sudden. So they are starting the College World Series off today at 1 o'clock in Omaha. Royals in action in a 3-game set against the Houston Astros starting tonight at 7:10 after dropping the series to the Rangers. This team was 6-2 in the month of May. Not anymore.
June, you mean?
Oh, sorry, June. Did they even have a stretch of maybe 6-2 in the month of May?
No, I think May.
Did they win 6 games at all in the month of May? I know they had more than 2 losses in the month of May, but June, thank you. In the month of June, not the case anymore after a couple of tough losses on Wednesday and yesterday, early/late afternoon, when the game actually got started with the sun delay that they had in the game, moving the game back 2.5 hours to get into warmer temperatures.
You know what was fun?
You being out there?
Being there.
Yeah. I bet the fans loved it too.
Yeah.
You go out there, pay money to watch the Royals struggling. 11 games under 500, 12 games, I should say, under 500. You go out there, spend money to watch the game, and then they move it back 2.5 hours for nothing.
And like
That's
17
cool,
minutes before first pitch, they decided to do that too. It wasn't like, hey,
That's cool. It's all good, man.
let's give you a long
It's very
heads
cool.
up.
No, it's very
Pop-up
nice.
showers.
It's very nice that they did that.
I will say the hot dog I had, though, was very good.
Oh, good point.
Protein.
Was that what it was filled with?
Protein.
Okay, good to know. As long as you think that, that's all that matters. Let's get into the show here. We'll talk at some point. We'll get into Ken Rosenthal's piece at The Athletic at the trade deadline. He's got a part of that about the Royals and Michael Wacha, Seth Lugo. We'll talk about those things. There's another name that he mentions that I think would be interesting if the Royals were looking to make a bigger splash at the trade deadline that doesn't necessarily have to do with the rest of this season. We'll get into some of those things. But we start with the latest with the Brendan Sorsby story, because yesterday, man, it started to get new legs. It started to take many different turns, you know, a lot of ins, a lot of outs, a lot of what have yous. A lot of strands in the old duder's head going on with this story, Mod. All right, there's a lot of things going on with this story. As Ken Paxton came out.
Good Big Lebowski pull right there.
Appreciate you.
Nice.
There are a lot of ins, Mod.
Yeah,
it's a complicated case, Mod. A lot of ins, a lot of outs, a lot of what have yous.
Sorsby really ties this team together, man.
A lot of strands in the old duder's head, man.
Good pull.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
This is our concern, dude.
That's exactly right. Ken Paxton, the Attorney General, releasing or sending a letter to the Big 12, essentially threatening that there had better not be sanctions against Texas Tech with Bylaw 3.6, which has a wide-ranging disciplinary course that 15 ADs, presidents all voted unanimously that they were against what's going on with Texas Tech in the many different meetings and conference calls that the Big 12 has had since the ruling came down a number of days ago with Brendan Sorsby. Bylaw 3.6 essentially allows the conference to sanction a member with a supermajority vote of disinterested directors after representatives of the members that are subject of such vote have been given reasonable prior notice and the reasonable opportunity to be present and to be heard. You can discipline a Big 12 member for being engaged in any action or a course of conduct materially adverse to the best interest of the conference taken as a whole. And the what is called disinterested directors, the other 15 schools, can be empowered to determine whether any sanctions are appropriate, the type, extent, and conditions to any sanctions imposed, prohibitions on appearance in postseason events or televised events, restrictions on revenue distributions, and limitations on recruiting or scholarships. All of those things, wide-ranging, that they can decide to do if Texas Tech were to play Brendan Sorsby. The part of this that becomes sort of Texas Tech being able to play both sides and maybe delay this till the last possible part is that while the court has given the injunction to the NCAA to allow Brendan Sorsby to play after the first 2 weeks of the season, the suspension, which again, as an aside, is fascinating to me that the court has already said what he did, even as he's going through rehab and is an admitted addict and is trying to fix the problem, he still did something that is suspension worthy. The only argument is how much of a suspension. They are not arguing that what he did isn't bad enough to rise to a suspension. They're saying what he did is not bad enough to rise to a permanent suspension, a permanent ineligibility, only for the first 2 games of the season. But if they play this out to where the Big 12 has these different things that may be in place, if Texas Tech gets to week 3, they don't have to play him. Can they take it game by game? Like against bad teams, can they not play Brendan Sorsby and take the revenue from that and be on national TV? How do you sanction them and say they won't be on TV if you don't know if Brendan Sorsby is going to play until day of? Because you can't mandate them to kick him off the team. If he's ineligible to play, it doesn't mean he should be he has to be ineligible to be on the team.
Get him off the tour, Doug.
That's right. Who was the player from Europe that was deemed ineligible at the last minute that went to Kentucky? He was a top 5 pick, but he made like $15,000 in a pro league back when you couldn't do that. He got like $15,000 to play as an amateur, but
it wasn't like Scal Labassere.
No, Linus Kleza is the name that comes in my mind, but that obviously isn't Linus Kleza because that's the Mizzou player. So anyway,
Dragon Bender.
Sure. He was deemed ineligible, but he practiced all year. He stayed on with the team on scholarship, practiced, did all of those things, and then got ready for the NBA by practicing behind the scenes. There is nothing that says that Brendan Sorsby, do you know the name?
Cantor.
Yes, Enes Kanter.
Enes Kanter.
Oh, yeah.
Enes Kanter made like...
Enes Freedom now.
Yeah, good call. He did not have freedom from the NCAA to play that year. They could have sued looking back and got a temporary injunction until, put the court case in March or May. It'd be better to put it in May because then the NCAA tournament would be over. But he still stayed on with the team and practiced. The injunction is allowing him to play after the first 2 games, but it doesn't mandate the depth chart. So I do wonder, like Texas Tech, if they go into a game and they don't play him that game, does that then get nationally televised? Are they not docked the money for that particular game? They play him against Houston. They don't play him against, one of the another non-conference game in which he's not suspended for, and therefore they get money for that. They get to put on national TV. Like, these are the things that I wonder. Or is the Big 12 going to say he can't be on the team at all? Which I do think is overreaching, because I do think there's an element of him being around the program that helps. Another example I would give is there was a player, Charlie Strong, at, I think, Texas. The player got a DUI, fell asleep in like a fast food drive-thru. We've heard those stories before. He got a DUI, and it was like his second one. Kicked him off the team. kept him on scholarship, allowed him to work out at the football facilities, but he couldn't practice or play. But he still allowed him to stay on scholarship because it was like, I care about the kid. I don't want to just throw the kid aside. He can't play for our team, though.
Yeah.
So there are ways of saying, we care about this kid. We want to do things for the best interest of the kid without saying he has to be the starting quarterback, too.
Sam Houston is
State?
4. That's game 4.
Yeah.
So for example,
sit him against Sam Houston and take your money.
Yeah.
I mean, can it be game by game in this thing? Does it have to be a blanket? Because I don't think the Big 12 in the bylaws of 3.6 can force a player to not be on said team. Because you can be ineligible in practice.
Sure.
Just as long as you don't play. You know, if Sylvia had practiced all season and not played in the NCAA tournament, the banner would still be up there, which I think should still be up there. They should just say bleep you, and you know what? Sue us. We'll find a court here in Lawrence that'll say the banner should go back up and that's not vacated anymore. He can still practice and be a part of it. So that's the part that I do wonder what happens with bylaw 3.6. But one of the most amazing things here, Sterling, Jack, Michael, listeners, is that the NCAA had given a provision in gambling that would allow amateur athletes, student athletes, to place bets on pro sports. You couldn't bet on amateur, so you couldn't bet on college, but you could bet on pro sports. They allowed the NCAA member institutions, they needed 75% to withdraw the provision. 75% to vote against this provision. Texas Tech voted against it. That was in November of 25. It was this last November. We haven't even gone a year where Texas Tech said, not only do we not think athletes should be able to gamble on college sports, they shouldn't place bets on any sport whatsoever. We are so against gambling in college that we are going to vote to not even allow student athletes to place bets on pro sports. But the problem with that was Brendan Sorsby wasn't on campus yet. So, I mean, come on. How can you really know the full information? That, to me, would be where how could it hold up in court if the NCAA or the Big 12 were to sanction Texas Tech for these things? They could use their own opinions against them.
I just don't know where you go from here because, end of the day, this happened. It sure looks like he's going to play, and there's no real follow-through of, okay, the Big 12 schools say we're not going to play you. They all say that. Well, then the TV deals say, well, what the bleep? That's a big market. That's a big team. We want that money. We want those eyeballs. And quite frankly, right now, if he does play, I bet those are even more thrilled.
That's a good point. There'll be more people watching.
More people watching, rooting against him.
Oddly enough, yes.
And so I don't know how you do this. But then you open the door of this being the new norm, right?
Mm-hmm.
You open up why would a kid, let's say at Missouri or Kansas, wants to gamble? What's stopping him? Backlash? Oh no, some people might be mad at me, but I still get to play. I missed 2 games. I get to miss the games I don't care about anyways. I don't know where the NCAA, who is almost dissolving to an extent, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to be no longer when the Big Ten and SEC make these conglomerates of we don't want to be ruled by anyone. We're going to rule ourselves.
But then they'll have to create something that will rule themselves, and it will be NCAA by another name.
Correct. But right now, we're in that period of there's nothing. The NCAA has no overreach. Or no reach.
Yeah.
Let alone they overreached back in the day. Now there's no reach.
Yep.
They're a short-armed dude. They're Ruben Bain out there.
They are not Charles and they used to be a Minihue.
They used to be a Minihue, and now they're
T-Rex arm.
Now they're Ruben Bain.
Yes.
But I don't know where you go. Like I for the next 3 years, couple years, I don't know how this does not.
Yeah.
I don't know how this doesn't. I don't know how it stops.
Yeah.
I don't know how, if you're a player, you can pretty much do whatever you want. No repercussions. Maybe you miss 2 games because we'll give you a fake slap on the wrist. And again, maybe it's just because it's
also
Soares being a quarterback, and if it's the 4th string D tackle, Tech says, let's make an example of you.
but also the Sports Act that people keep talking about of, if you can pass this, has nothing to do with this. That is about NIL and putting a cap on NIL and transferring at will. That's what that's about. It has nothing to do with a court injunction about gambling and an NCAA rule that is violated, that a state court, district court, rules there is an injunction until we can fully litigate the case, which will be in February. Has nothing to do with what the Save Sports Act and NIL and transferring and things like that has to do with. This would not even be under the umbrella of that. So people that are using that and go, well, if we had that, like Cody Campbell, if we had this is the issue here. This is different, dude. This is a completely different area that we're talking about.
And they think they know that. I mean, this is them just trying to.
Yes. Yeah, play whatever side works for them right now.
Correct.
I'm just amazed that they think Brennan Sorsby is worth all of this. I mean, the only outcome in which this is worth it for Texas Tech is if they win a national championship. That is the only way that all of this backlash, all of this hate is going to be worth it. And Texas Tech is a really good football team with or without Brennan Sorsby. They'll probably go undefeated because their conference schedule is incredibly weak. Their non-con schedule is incredibly weak. But you are so short-sighted in this, because if this was a guy who was an incoming freshman or he was the number 1 overall recruit and he got involved in this, I could understand fighting for him a little bit more, because you're going, we invested a lot of money into this guy and we expect him to be here for 2 to 3 years. Brennan Sorsby is going to be there for 1 year, whether it's great or whether it's not great. And the lengths they are going to go that will cause, we talked about the irreparable damage they would give Sorsby if they deemed him ineligible. I believe they're doing irreparable damage to the University of Texas Tech moving forward in all sports, by the way, because this is something that sticks with you. It is something that reeks when you hear the words Texas Tech, when you see the logo. This is the first thing you think of. I get we're being a prisoner of the moment, and it's what's at the front of our mind. But moving forward, this is such a massive case for the rest of college athletics, and they are doing such a poor job of protecting this situation. The PR has been astronomically horrific. I'm going to put 2 words together. That's how bad it is, because everything they are coming out and saying is either being a victim or they're blaming other people for all this type of stuff.
Or they're trying to pretend to be altruistic when it's really just selfishness.
It is. They're acting like they're
self-interest.
They're helping this kid, which what I don't understand is you can help this kid and not have him play on Saturdays. You can pay attention to the addiction and say, the rules are rules, and you're 22 years old, and you knew about these rules before you started gambling.
Giving you 2 different examples, Calipari with Ennis Cantor and Charlie Strong with the player at Texas.
But there are, and again, I'm not defending Tech, but if you want an understanding of why, it's dumb, but it's where we're at as a society.
Thank you, Joey.
Another team would pick him up and start him. Guaranteed.
It would be tough with all of the public scrutiny and how harsh the reaction has been loudly.
I get it.
For all of these teams.
But do we believe
the Big 12
that?
for the SEC, for the Big 10, to then one of those teams pick them up and go, okay, we're good to go?
I firmly believe.
I don't think another team would.
I don't know if they would. Not
I really
this
don't.
late into the
Maybe
game.
we disagree.
Because then you'd have to get a court order in that state, right?
Correct.
Would you have to get another one, or does that still stand if he goes to a different team?
I think
I have
it's
no
It
idea.
would be criticized even more than Tech is right now.
Yeah,
because
that's true.
Everybody, I mean, it is 99.9% of college athletics are against Texas Tech. If Texas Tech was to say, fine, we'll get rid of him, and somebody was to go, actually, thank you for that, they would get far more hate and do far more reputable damage than Tech is doing right now.
And teams do that all the time. Teams care about winning. They care about dollars. They care about that's eyeballs, man. I know.
I think this may
it's bad.
be.
It's bad.
I think
PR.
this may be one that's a little extreme.
Then I just again, I think, and again, maybe I'm completely wrong. I think it's a little naive to think that another team wouldn't take a chance on him. I do. And the other thing is, you've already given him, what was it, $5 million? Was that the reported number for his NIL? $5 million?
It was around, I think, 5 to 6. Could they get that voided?
That's my point.
If he was,
My point is, okay, so you say, you know what? We don't want you anymore. That we're banning you. We're kicking you off. Do you still have to pay him the $5 million?
No.
Is he going to sue? No, who knows?
And there's got to be something in the contract of where if he
who
were to
knows?
break the rules, yeah.
if he were to like I don't know gamble on sports, something bad like that.
Hey, no,
wait, that's what we're talking about.
I get it, but my point is we've seen a whole bunch of dudes going to court, players trying to sue the school, and vice versa. I mean, there are a multitude of layers now when you get this much money involved of, hey, we spent $5+ million on this guy. If we can't get that money back, we better hope he plays.
What I find to be really interesting too in all of this is, and I know it's like stick to sports, keep the politics out of it. That's fine, but this to me potentially bigger ramifications as Ken Paxton comes out and is defending a public institution in Texas Tech. Right, stepping up as a state for a public institution in that state, in Texas Tech, and saying, if you guys do anything like this, the total exposure for the Big 12 and its members, joint and severally, will be substantially more than $200 million is what we will go after from Big 12, the conference, and its specific members. That's what we're going to go after. Okay, so you're doing this on behalf of Texas Tech if you're Ken Paxton. That's fine. Public institution. TCU's private, Baylor's private. Houston's also public. And you have probably 80 to 90% of the Houston, Baylor, and TCU alumni in the state of Texas. Do you really want to go out on a limb for Texas Tech and take millions and millions and millions of dollars from Houston, TCU, and Baylor for their programs while you're running for Senate in November? I mean, I'm not saying every single alumni would go, well, I was going to vote for him, but now I'm going to vote for the Democrat if I'm a Republican. But it might be that guy ain't getting my vote. And if the other guy goes, that's fine. But I will not put that guy in the Senate that's taken hundreds of millions of dollars from the Big 12 and costing my school. That team got that football player because we didn't have the money to pay for him because of Texas Tech. He's going out of his way for freaking Texas Tech? No. We got all this alumni in Houston and Dallas with Baylor and TCU and the university that pay all this money in taxes, and he's going to go and step up for just Texas Tech in Lubbock, Texas? No, we're in Dallas and Houston, the alumni here. No, not happening. Now, doesn't mean that he would lose in November, but in 2020, the race came down to 1 million votes. Are there 700,000 people that are alumni willing to change or not vote? I mean, 1 million votes, you flip the 700,000, now you got the other guy winning by 400,000. I'm just saying, I wonder if it would be ultimately worth it if you start to get backlash from big money alumni of the other 3 schools in Texas that would cost tens to hundreds of millions of dollars for their school just to help out Texas Tech when they're playing a kid that broke the ultimate rule. I wonder what happens when rubber meets the road, when you would actually have to then sue and try to take $200 million from the Big 12.
Yeah.
And then give that to Texas Tech. Oh, you'd have Tech fans that would all be running to the polls to vote for Ken Paxton. But does that outweigh
the other 3
schools that they're
that don't like each other, by the way?
Yeah.
It's not cohesive there with TCU and Texas Tech. And,
even Texas,
and
though. I think even Texas.
They don't. Yeah.
the Texas alumni.
Yeah, I mean, even
a lot of people in there that'd be like, you're going in. Yeah. You're going and taking hundreds of millions of dollars from the Big 12 and you're giving it to Texas Tech because they played a player that the NCAA deemed was ineligible and broke the ultimate rule, and they're the ones that you're giving $200 million to?
What's the NCAA even do now? Like, quite frankly,
Sit back and watch.
Yeah.
I mean, they can appeal and get their lawyers ready, but
after the season, basically,
right? They can't do anything.
Like,
if the case doesn't get moved before February, then they can't do anything because it'll be dropped once the season's over.
How did we get here? Well, like, how do we get to a...
I told you how we got here.
No, I mean...
It's a slow build. It's been a slow build of fighting the NCAA along the way, and some were reasonable and pure in their arguments against the NCAA that this was an overreach. Some of it was just, well, it affects us, so we're pissed about it. But it has led to this. And just like the Twitter, back and forth or just conversation of that person saying, did you just compare Diego Pavia to Brendan Sorsby? And no, I didn't. But what I compared was the slow build. And the real life comparison I will use is, okay, you got a bully in high school that pushes people around. Then the guy starts beating people up. Then he starts using weapons. Then it's armed robbery. Then he robs a bank. Then he murders somebody. Well, come on, murder and armed robbery are not the same. No, they're not. But you saw the slow build up to that. So it gets connected. And when it's, well, we're fighting for this player to be eligible because he got $5,000 from this. Okay, we're fighting for this player to be eligible because he didn't really play in the NBA. We're fighting for this player to be eligible because JUCO shouldn't count as part of your eligibility. We're fighting for this guy because he wants to retroactively go back and get a redshirt year when he didn't apply for a redshirt year in Division II, never thought about it until he was getting millions and millions of dollars, and now let me go back and get a redshirt year. We're fighting for this, we're getting injunctions in every single individual city. It's going to build to where that school goes, I don't care what the person did. We're going to get an injunction and fight for it because the NCAA can't do anything in mandating or circumventing the injunction in the district court. So that's how we got here, honestly. And we got here by just in society in general. You got money and you got power, then you can sort of put your thumb on the scales.
No teeth, just gums.
Yes.
I have to wonder, too, how Texas Tech is going to treat other players on the team that break a rule.
Oh, yes.
And how
Great
they treat
point.
addictions. Let's say you've got a star wide receiver, and before week 1, he gets busted for smoking weed. And you say, okay, well, you're not going to play. You broke team rules. You did that. Then he gets caught again. Well, if I'm the player, I'm saying, well, I have an addiction. I can't help smoking weed all the time. And it'll be interesting, depending what the status is of that player. Is he a starter? Is he a third stringer? Or Joey McGuire, who was in front of the whole media room in Houston for that quarterback convention thing, saying, well, it's not like he killed somebody or beat up somebody. Okay, well, what does happen then if you've got a player, and you don't want this to happen anywhere, any level, professional, college, but if you have a player that beats up somebody, is it automatic? And it's, well, we did say, beating up somebody's against our rules, because Brendan Sorsby broke the rules and then said, I have an addiction, and it shifted into, well, we got to help this guy through his addiction. We're going to let him play, but we need to make sure that we give him all the resources possible. So now if I'm another player, what counts as an addiction? Do I have a weed addiction? Do I have if I get a second or third DUI, or I guess third DUI, you would have to go to jail at that point, but a second DUI.
Not if you have enough money.
Yeah, true. Does Joey McGuire kick him off the team? Or can the player say, I need the help? I can still play, but I need the help to beat this addiction, because you got to take it seriously. That's what's baffled me. If you really want to treat this addiction seriously and give the kid help, playing him on Saturdays only benefits your football team. It doesn't benefit his addiction. And in fact,
you think the crowd at every place they go aren't going to make it?
I mean, the
also,
pressure.
The 20-minute video that they put out, they mentioned in that 20-minute video, if you haven't seen it, they put it out yesterday. It was like a round table with I think the voice of the Raiders. You got the AD, the head coach, the president, and then the guy who's sort of the sports psychologist guy that's in charge of his rehab and everything, of the plan he put together. And they also said he's been diagnosed with social anxiety. Does it help by him being the national pariah for social anxiety? Like, Zach Greinke didn't want to go to certain places and play because of the following in the media. He'd rather go to Milwaukee than D.C. because it's a smaller city to insulate from his diagnosed social anxiety. Didn't want to be out in front of people, which is tough to do when you're a baseball player. He wanted to go and own a lawn mowing service. Leave baseball and mow lawns. Leave me alone. I'm by myself. I'm mowing lawns. I'm enjoying what I'm doing. He's made more money in baseball than he would have as a lawn mowing service, I think. But that was a
Greinke's grass. I mean, come on now.
Great dude, right?
One hell of a. I mean, like, if he did that after winning the Cy Young, you would have been the best lawn mowing business that's ever existed.
Everybody would have hired Greinke's grass. Oh, dude, Zach, dude, look out there, the lawnmower. Don't bother him. All right, don't bother him. He doesn't want. But that's Greinke right there. Look at him mowing grass like a Cy Young winner. He's putting different baseball designs in all the grass. Dude, it's weird that he does that.
Knowing him too, he would be very particular on the grass. It'd be some damn good grass.
He'd have 17 different ways of mowing grass, just like the different pitches that he has. But you've got to diagnose social anxiety. Is this the best way to go about it? Like, I think there's an outside chance that Brendan Sorsby and his family step away. and say, you know, it is probably in the best interest of his health not to be the national pariah. And in fact, he may be viewed as a good for you, dude. Good for you. I know that Jeffrey Kessler, your lawyer, fought for you and got the injunction, but maybe you were just following other people's advice. But good for you for stepping away and saying, you know what, it's not worth it. I don't want to damage Texas Tech, because Texas Tech has fought so hard to be a big boy at the table that they're essentially creating that if it breaks off from the NCAA and they create power schools or a power conference with the Big Ten and the SEC, and they add other schools from different conferences, if they play Brendan Sorsby, are they inviting Texas Tech to that power conference? You have to be invited there. You can't pay your way in.
I will say this about Sorsby. I get the thought process. It would look good. Maybe he tries to go to the NFL in the
supplemental draft. He's got till June 22nd. He's got 10 days.
You know how hard it is to turn away $5+ million.
I agree.
That's a.
Can he negotiate with Cody Campbell and say, you know, if I leave school, does my mom still keep her job?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds great. It sounds
like,
great to
Blue
say.
Chips, Penny Hardaway and Blue Chips. Son, I think you should be at practice tomorrow. So your mom's not going to keep her job in the house if you leave school. Cody, can I keep the $5 million if I bench myself and say I need to focus on these things so I don't put Texas Tech in this? If Cody Campbell really cares about the kid, the answer would be yes.
He cares about the school's PR.
He cares about the school's PR.
Yes.
If he wasn't a starter, this would not be.
Well,
he would be
It's
gone.
a great point. Lebo brought that up this morning, and I completely forgot about this. DGB at Mizzou, when he got caught in the car smoking weed, his friend that was in the car with him was a walk-on, kicked off the team.
Yeah.
Why wasn't DGB kicked off the team? Because he was Dorial Green Beckham. That's why. All right? There are levels to where, look, you got to go, man. We can't have that. DGB, we're here for you. We're thinking about you. We'll help you get through this. It's a great point. I forgot about that. Lebo brought that up this morning. I'm like, yes, that's a great example of what we have here is two guys doing the same thing. One guy's a walk-on. We have clear proof. It's not like, well, if he was this, he'd have been gone. We know that because the other guy was gone. TGB was suspended. It's amazing.
I was there.
Not you were in the car?
Not in the car. No.
Good God.
Got kicked off the team.
But
It was you, wasn't it?
it was me.
I knew it was you.
I think it's,
A2?
it's so
know.
reckless too if they're going to run with the social anxiety part of this. That it's one thing for being a gambling addiction and that this is the best way to help them. Social anxiety, from knowing people in the past that have had social anxiety, it's like you're constantly worrying about what other people think about you. Like you're in the tunnel about to walk onto the field and you've got the student section that is yelling down at you. You're now being concerned about what they think you are, what your teammates think you are. When you start playing poorly, how does that affect you? Like, to me, being on a football field when you are the number one public enemy and you are the face of it, you are the poster child, that would be the worst possible thing for somebody that is dealing with social anxiety. I cannot believe they just keep spinning in circles and making this thing worse with all these PR stunts that they're doing.
It's unbelievable. Here we are. We'll see what ends up happening. But I do wonder some of the political fallout from this. If Houston, TCU, and Baylor and their alumni are not happy about the AG attempting to take hundreds of millions of dollars away from the Big 12, which would then affect their school, and how that impacts the Senate race in November. Who knows? Maybe it doesn't at all. But sports creates strange bedfellows. We know that. Mizzou and KU fans hate each other during the college season, but they'll stand next to each other and cheer on Patrick Mahomes. High fives and hugging, okay? Sports can create, but Republicans and Democrats, you can hate the other guy, but if that dude that's a member of my political party is screwing over my school, and my school is now going to be docked $50-60 million in revenue that could go to football and basketball to get players, now that goes a little bit more than party affiliation. Who knows? We'll find out, but there's a lot of ins, a lot of outs, a lot of what have yous. A lot of strands in the old duder's head, man. I think we need to keep using that for this story.
Yeah.
We'll take a timeout. We'll come back. Why is Michael Waka not in play for the July 31st deadline, as Ken Rosenthal said yesterday? We'll get into that next. All right, folks, the world's biggest soccer tournament, it's arrived. Started yesterday, going on today, and you can trade the entire tournament on Kalshi, Kalshi. And on Kalshi, you can trade every match from the opening stage all the way to the final. The world's largest prediction market. First federally regulated financial exchange dedicated to trading on the outcome of future events. It's regulated in the U.S. and available in all 50 states, not based in a different country. USA in action tonight against Paraguay. 47% the United States is trading at right now to win that match, meaning $100 is going to pay you over $200 in that. Heck, a tie is trading at 30% right now. 3 times the money that you can bring in that particular market and on that trade. Argentina in town here training, and they'll be in action in just a few days here in Kansas City. And on Kalshi, you're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there's no house. As the probability changes, you can buy in and out of your position. And for a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use code JASON810, JASON810 to get $10 when you trade 10. Kalshi, Kalshi. Kalshi, trade the beautiful game.
18 plus only. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. Event contract trading involves risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Prices, values, and available markets may differ from those mentioned. For more information, see kalshi.com/regulatory.
All right, we continue right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Let's talk a little Royals here, but not necessarily the game yesterday. Certainly great news with what the latest is with Seth Lugo, that the CT scan, everything came back clear. Somehow, miraculously came back clear. He said he doesn't have a headache. When he bends down, he can his head starts hurting when he bends over and things like that. But man, just a rough result the other night, and then having the bullpen do what they had to do. But good news in the latest with Seth Lugo. We don't know if he's going to make his next start. That knot happened immediately on his forehead.
Yeah.
That was crazy. It was cool to see Brandon Nemo, who's friends with him. And then Lugo, in such good spirits, was talking smack to him as he was going, like, pull that pitch, dude. Pull it. Hit it that way, man. What are you doing hitting it right back at me, you jerk? So good to see that Lugo's in good spirits, and it doesn't seem like there's anything bad going on inside his head other than outside with a very prominent knot on his head. That thing could have been a whole lot worse because we saw it with Yarborough.
Yeah.
We saw him be out for what, 2 months?
About 2 months, yeah.
With all and him talking about dark rooms, constant headaches and things like that. That's why he was out so long, is because he couldn't get over those things. Like, that's scary because if it's prolonged, you're like, when will this ever end, and will I pitch again? Like, I can't go out there feeling like this. There's lights everywhere. So obviously a scary situation. The Royals, though, were in a situation where they have to make a decision at some point about what they're going to do on July 31st. Ken Rosenthal at The Athletic wrote yesterday about different parts of players and teams. He started off talking about the Cubs should move Seiya Suzuki, or should be interested in moving Seiya Suzuki, because they need pitchers, frontline starters, and my initial thought was Cole Reagans for Suzuki. He's got control through next year. You got the rest of this year and next year for Seiya Suzuki. Reagans for Suzuki, straight up, who says no? But Ken Rosenthal writes here that when the Kansas City Royals traded catcher Freddie Fermin to the San Diego Padres at last year's deadline, they were happy to acquire right-hander Stephen Kolek and Ryan Bergert. They also knew Carter Jensen was nearly ready for the majors, making them deep enough at catcher to pull off such a move. The Royals lacked the pitching equivalence of what Jensen was, potential candidates for next year's rotation in the upper minors. So even if they fall out of contention, they likely will not be as comfortable moving starters such as right-hander Seth Lugo and Michael Wacha, both with club control through 2027. He writes, left-hander Chris Bubich, a potential free agent, would be more likely to go, along with others on expiring contracts. Outfitter Lane Thomas, lefty reliever Matt Strahm, righty reliever John Schreiber, among them. The Royals, like all teams, are open to anything. If they could trade Wacha and or Lugo for quality pitchers under longer club control, they would need to consider it. Any form of teardown, though, is likely not an option. The Royals want to win, with shortstop Bobby Witt Jr. and third baseman Michael Garcia, both of whom are under contract through at least 2030. He writes, Royals, Wacha, and Lugo likely not in play. Do you believe that they are, quote, not in play, Jack? Because you're only here for this segment. And if you could trade them for Kolek and Bergert, would it matter if you don't have Carter Jensen ready to take over for Freddie Fermin? If part of the trade for a Wacha is a guy with club control for 6 years, and you're not paying that guy $18 million, well, 14, and then I think it's another 14 next year. But Lugo is 21.5 next year, and the rest of 21.5 this year. If you're not paying him that money and he's got team control for 6 years, and maybe he is a Noah Cameron or a Kolek or Bergert, maybe not Michael Wacha and Lugo right now, wouldn't you have to believe that those guys would be in play if we're talking about those particular trade pieces?
I'm sure they're in play and they're going to listen to offers, but I don't see them trading them just to trade them.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
They don't want to tear it down. They believe they can still compete next year, and they might still have the belief that things could turn around this year. I'm not one of those people, but you have to look at the reality of who Michael Wacha and Seth Lugo are. They're in their mid-30s. They're making a lot of money. You got to worry about the contract part of this, and I could see a lot of teams saying, we'll give you something, but we're not going to give you what you're asking for. Like, if they got the offer they wanted for Seth Lugo last year, he wouldn't have gotten that extension. They would have moved him at that point and gotten a haul for him. But it seems like the asking price, because of what they've provided the Royals rotation, the clubhouse, everything,
the younger pitchers,
yeah,
that's a good point.
They clearly are asking a lot for him, where they would be much more inclined to move guys on expiring contracts like Bubic, Schreiber, Strom, Lane Thomas, Starling Marte, whatever you can get. And the Royals, as it's been shown the last couple of years, they just don't have the talent for the guys they're trading to get that immense haul where you get 3 top 100s, where you get 2 or 3 guys that are really, really good players. One of the best moves they ever made was the one that was brought up there, which was Kolek and Bergert for a backup catcher who has been well below league average ever since he got moved. And you got Kolek, who's been great. And it's unfortunate Bergert has Tommy John, but he was pretty good in his short time with Kansas City last year. That's what I see them doing at the deadline. I would call it soft selling, where you're moving some pieces here and there, but you're also adding to the big league roster. You're making some of these transactional moves where you flip Bubic for a bat that you could play maybe in center field because Isbell's out for probably the rest of the year.
I mean, I think there's a chance it might be rest of the year. A grade 3 tear of his plantar fascia.
If you move a couple bullpen arms, maybe you get another guy like a Kolek who was 28 years old, club control, but there's no spot for him in the rotation or the bullpen. But you do have to listen to offers. You cannot go into the deadline and go, we just can't, come to terms with trading a guy like Michael Walker or Seth Lugo. It is very likely that the best of those 2 guys has already happened. That was in 2024. They are not going to get better from this point on. You hold on to him next year, I'd still be a little bit concerned that you're going into next year with a rotation that is 2 35, 36-year-old guys that have the best behind him, where I want to see if Kolek can be that guy. I want to see if Avila can be that guy, if Cameron can continue doing what he's doing, if Reagans can ever find his form again, and then maybe you bring in some other guys that are young, like a Kolek, like a Cameron, that you can develop there, because you got to pivot into the new era. You got what you got out of Walker and Lugo. They're not going to be here after next year, and if you really believe next year's going to be competitive, well, then I better see it with this offense. I better see a bunch of money put into the team, a bunch of trades being made, so that those guys are kind of the backdrop where, hey, they're number 4, number 5 in the rotation. Yeah, you're paying them a lot of money, but we have more frontline guys that can make us a 90 to 95 win team. And I'm not sold they're that close to that type of talent.
Yeah, next year in 2027 would be arbitration for Seiya Suzuki. I'm bringing that up randomly, but also because Ken Rosenthal. But for the Royals, they wanted to get Jaron Duran. They wouldn't give up Cole Reagans. What if the Cubs are like, we'll give you Seiya Suzuki, and we want Waka and Bubic for Suzuki? Well, Bubic is done this year. Waka's under team control next year. Suzuki's under team control next year. You'd be trading a guy that wasn't going to be on the team next year anyway in Bubic, and you'd be taking the 21.5 off the books. Now, I don't know what Suzuki would get in arbitration, but he's getting $19 million this year with the contract that he signed, coming from Japan. And you'd have a left fielder for next year with 2 guys that were going to be done at the end of next year anyway for the Royals in that. You'd be I think you would have to listen at that point. Maybe it's Cole Reagans they want. Again, I think you'd have to listen. Now, Duran had longer team control, but if you think you can win next year, replace Isaac Collins with Seiya Suzuki in left field for this team, who's playing the best defense in left field that he's had, essentially saying, I'm not a DH. Vinny told the Royals, I don't want to be DH, so I'm going to bust my ass and be a good first baseman. Suzuki's telling the Cubs, I don't want to be a DH. He's playing the best left field that he's played. He's already got 10 home runs. He's batting better now. I don't know. It's just an idea of just because you trade the pieces, it doesn't mean you got to get an A ball or a double A player. You could go that route because the Royals got Kolek and Bergert, which helped them last year and is helping them this year. They didn't get Junior Caminero that was 4 years away from playing baseball, or you thought he was 4 years away from playing baseball, but he was that amazing. And you don't have Garrett Crochet to trade for Kyle Teal and Braden Montgomery. You don't have that guy to move that the White Sox did. Thank you, Jack. Appreciate you, brother. We'll take a time out, come back, more zone next.
Rock your red, white, and blue because USA fans, this one's for you. FanDuel is dropping a massive USA Super Boost for the matchup against Paraguay. That happens tonight. So what do you need to do? You got to go to FanDuel. Right now on FanDuel, all customers can win up to $25 if the USA just has 1+ shot. That's not a typo. That's not me misspeaking, which happens a lot. 1 shot gets it done. That's not even 1 shot on goal. Just 1 shot. Don't miss your moment. Eminem talked about it. 1 shot. What are you going to do? Well, your 1 shot should be on FanDuel. You can win up to $25 again if the USA just has 1+ shot. Not for new customers, for all customers. This is one of the biggest boosts yet, and all you need is 1 moment from the USA to cash in. So, back the USA and get in on this huge super boost before kickoff. Don't wait. Go to FanDuel right now. Visit FanDuel.com/local to get started.
21 plus in President, Missouri. Opt-in required. Must wager in designated offer market. Max wager $25. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbooks.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
All right, thank you to Jack Johnson wrapping things up here in this first hour. We'll talk with Matt Derrick. A lot of stuff to get into about the Chiefs with Matt Derrick. Patrick Mahomes' contract. He's now financially set, finally. Wanya Morris is a Falcon. L'Jarius Sneed is a Chief. Josh Simmons is a USC fighter. At least that's what he looks like. And Xavier Worthy is yoked.
I was going to say he's still hurt.
I don't know. There you go. Those are the headlines with the Chiefs this week. Mahomes finally has enough money to not have to be concerned about money. Morris is a Falcon. Snead's a Chief. Simmons is ripped. Worthy's yoked. And Matt Derrick is with us for the next hour. It's The Zone on Sports Radio 810 on a Friday. Friday edition of The Zone right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Jason Anderson with you, Sterling Holmes, Michael Darcy, Matt Derrick, Chiefs Digest 41 is the Mike podcast hanging out with us. Matt, what's up, brother? How you doing?
I am just enjoying vibes.
You
It's
are
a vibe kind of day.
You know what? You and Team Algeria.
There you go.
I'm on team USA and Algeria. Those are the teams I'll be rooting for in this World Cup because I don't know how many other countries have embraced the local community that they're base camping in the way that Algeria and Lawrence have come together to be this team, and having, kids out on the pitch, opening up their training, the KU band out at training playing songs, Algerian players staying at the DoubleTree because you can smoke and it has a pool as opposed to the Oriad. Like, I am here for Team Algeria. Because, look, are we going to win the World Cup? Probably not. So let's have some fun. Let's enjoy ourselves. Maybe a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for any of those players. Who knows in 4 years if those players are still going to be playing soccer, if they're going to be on the team, or who knows what happens. But you're playing in the World Cup. You're experiencing it. Take in the whole thing as opposed to we're here at this place. Nobody can see us, look at us. Then we're going to train over here. Nobody can watch us. We're going to go bus to bus, and we're not going to be seen out in public. We're just going to be completely insulated because we've got a job to do. I mean, I get it, but
I'm going to reveal my elite snobbishness of growing up in the crown city of the Ozarks in Springfield, Missouri. But Algeria is, I went to, I'm old enough that it was Southwest Missouri State. But
I thought you were going to say it's Southwest Missouri, Algeria.
But I was on both sides of this a little bit. I was in high school and would go to events on the Southwest Missouri State, now Missouri State campus, and everything. And so I saw what happened then, and then I became when I was a student there, I was on the other side of it, which is now I'm a student, at the university. What would happen is that when you'd have these events, and I was a nerd, so I'm talking about speech and debate tournaments, I'll go ahead and admit it, but it was band camps, it was anything else. Yeah. When you got the high school students from the small towns in the Ozarks that came onto campus, and all of a sudden there's buildings that are 2 or 3 stories, and they got elevators, they'd get in the elevators, they'd jump up and down, and they'd crash them. So then the elevators weren't working on Mondays when we came back in. And, I went to school in Springfield, so we didn't do this because we had been in buildings that were, 2, 3, 6 stories tall before. So we didn't have to do that. We did that when we were like 6. We weren't doing it when we were 17. But that's what Algeria is to me. Algeria is like a 1A school that's just gone to the big city for the state championship, and they're going to enjoy it.
Yeah, I love it. And it's not like they're a small little, they're the largest country in Africa. Like, it's not little small, like
Algeria, that big?
Yes.
Yeah, it's huge.
Really?
By the way, in the last couple of days, I've been learning more about Algeria because of how cool I honestly, I haven't been learning much about the Netherlands or Argentina or England, whatever. But I've been trying to learn about it because I'm rooting for this team now.
10th largest country in the world.
Okay, now that's surprising.
Did not know that. That is weird.
That
wild
is
stuff.
That's whack. That is whack. That is wild. That's what that is. That's wacky wild stuff, man.
It's the 10th most populous country in Africa, but by land, it's the 10th largest in the world.
Interesting. Okay. Well, because not many people live in the desert. Is that what you're saying?
Shockingly, no.
It's more deserted. Is that what you would say?
Do you know that Kazakhstan's number 9?
Yes. Speaking of people that can buy a country, Patrick Mahomes is now worth more. He signed a $500 million contract, as Chris Jones would say. How you leave money on the table when you sign a $500 million contract? Matt, I called this yesterday unprecedented because it's one thing for teams to add new money to a contract. The Chiefs had 6 years left on his deal, and they could have said, "All right, Patrick, we're gonna watch you play this year with the knee, and next year when your salary cap hit is $85 million, we're gonna deal with this contract extension." But they could have paid him the 6 years, $265 million that was left on his deal. 6 years, $265. Instead, it's 8 years, $504. $240 million of new money. They didn't have to do this. It allows them more flexibility to extend the 8 years so you can have the guaranteed mechanisms, so they have that going for them. Clark Hunt is writing, checks as well. But I called it unprecedented because not many teams will say, essentially, we're just going to give you a massive pay raise. We don't have to. There's 6 years left on your deal. We're just going to give you a pay raise, massive pay raise of $240 million.
Yeah, and I mean, you make a point there, which, with the words, you don't have to. You don't. It's not Russia. I mean, you don't have to do anything. But, at the same time, you got a partnership here with the player.
Agreed.
And, I mean, does anybody think that the Chiefs and Mahomes are going to get sideways at some point and Mahomes be like, I really don't want to be here anymore?
I'm going to ask for a trade.
I'm going to ask for a trade. I mean, it's theoretically possible, but, here's what the consistent thing has been that's impressed me with these contracts is that obviously it's a great deal for Mahomes. It's going to make him the highest paid player in the league again. It's going to set him up. I mean, right now he's set up for, I think that this contract, if he gets every dollar of it, and I'm assuming he's going to get every dollar of it, and it's probably going to get restructured again.
Yes,
He's 31.
Yeah.
So this contract would, in theory, take him to 38.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure, maybe that's the end. Maybe it's not. Maybe Tom Brady's it, and he plays until he's 45, and he's going to, extend this thing 3 or 4 more times. But the thing about it, this would take him to $729 million in his career. Right now, Matt Stafford, who is, on the year-to-year plan, I think is the highest paid ever. I think he's at $420.
Nice.
I mean, because it's nice.
That is high.
But I mean, Mahomes is going to blow that by. And, hey, inflation's part of it and everything, of course, that by that nature. But, here's the other part of it, too, is that, $64 million AAV. Dak Prescott's at, what, 60?
Yeah, 60.
By 2029, maybe even 2028, I mean, Mahomes is probably going to be out of the top 10. Because everybody's going to get a raise.
That's right.
I mean, that's just
and we're going to say, boy, look how affordable the Mahomes contract is.
Yeah, I mean, and then there's going to, be somebody like, I don't know, take your random hobo that's, a middle of the pack quarterback that's making $45 million a year, and somebody's going to say,
Daniel
well,
Jones.
he's there you go. And Daniel Jones is going to be like, well, I deserve 65. I mean, come on.
But the thing is though, like having this money, it was Sterling would say this was a very unique contract that they signed with the Chiefs.
Extremely, very unique.
Very unique. Out of all the unique things, this is as unique as the uniques get. Okay, but I remember when the contract first was reported back in 2020, and it was, quote, guaranteed mechanisms. And we're like, what the hell does guaranteed mechanisms mean? And everybody's trying to figure out these guaranteed mechanisms. Then you learn about it and you're going, oh, that's brilliant. Okay, that's smart. All right. Well, the practical guarantee on Mahomes' contract is much bigger than the 140 guaranteed that's reported for Mahomes' contract. And they offered more practical, the same practical guarantees with this, which just gives the Chiefs flexibility every year to move around the salary cap. And it's the same exact money that's going to go to Patrick Mahomes. It's a roster bonus or a signing bonus. And just moving that around and being able to, kick the can down the road a little bit. It's one of those rare ones where the player gets essentially max dollars compared to other players while it's still a team-friendly deal.
Yeah. And that's what I always said. People looked at the Mahomes contract the wrong way. I mean, they were, some people was like look at it as 10 years, $450, and then there was the others who were like, well, no, it's really 13 for $500. Adding in the rookie year on the contract. I mean, I always saw it as just rolling 3-year deals. Yep. Because with the guarantees and everything, I mean, it was just a continual 3-year contract that just kind of rolled over every year. And if you looked at it that way, I mean, Mahomes was consistently one of the highest paid players in the league because every year he was essentially getting a quote unquote new 3-year fully guaranteed contract. And I mean, it's going to be still the same way. I mean, there's still going to be these guarantees that kick in, and He's going to have, it looks like, these roster bonuses that are going to, continue to be paid out the same way. It's not entirely different from what the Eagles do, honestly, with their, void years and everything. It's just on steroids. And the fact that, he actually has real money for the next 5 years. So it's not, the funny money is, 10 years down the road. And even then, the 10 years down the road is going to eventually turn into real money. I mean, those void years that he's got in 2033 are going to be real years at some point. And I know it looks like, some of the numbers may be starting to come out a little bit on this. We're still not going to know the whole thing. But, like you mentioned, the $85 million cap hit for next year.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to change.
Yeah,
it's not going to be $85 million.
Nope.
That's going to get reworked, whether it's just reworked from the get-go or there'll be a roster bonus that allows them to kick it on down the curb. The one thing I get asked about a lot from people, and you probably talked about this too, is that it's not going to change 2026. They've already restructured his contract.
Yeah.
There is literally no juice to squeeze out of that thing for cap room in 26. And I get no indication that 26 is going to be touched at all. They talk about the money from 26 to 33 being part of the deal, but this is really 27 to 33 is the contract.
Yep. How old is Patrick Mahomes his last year with the Chiefs? And that doesn't necessarily mean his last year in the NFL.
Just a guess?
What do you think he is his last year with the Chiefs? How is because this contract will take him to 38 if he plays out every single year and dollar of this contract. He'd be 38 years old.
I'm really, really torn on that.
Yeah.
Because there's part of me that thinks maybe he doesn't make it to 38 because he from the get-go, especially when he talks about kids and family and everything like this, is and sometimes it's been more just blatant than just parsed, but there's always been this indication that he didn't want to be the dad that was traveling while they're growing up and missing their games and their sports and everything like this. And kids starting to get to that point. They're getting there. 7, 8 years from now, they're going to be there. So it makes me wonder if, he might be the guy that at 38, this just did. He just calls it a day and everything. But I also know how competitive he is, that if 8 years from now, he's got like 6 Super Bowls and he's just close on so many things of becoming the GOAT of all time, then I think he could keep going, but I think he's going to be torn on that. I think that tear between family life and football is going to hit him pretty soon. And
well, I've talked about this with plenty of people off the air, but in the decision our family made from me growing up here, and dream job is to host a show at Sports Radio 810. Mainly from 10 to 2, but that stupid Seren was blocking me the whole time. But when the opening happened here, we talked and said, if it's for the afternoon show, we're not coming back. But if Seren goes to the afternoon, I'll come back for 10 to 2 because I did afternoons. And I wasn't there for dinners, practices, things like that. Like Everett has baseball games that start at 5:30. Well, I was on the air till 6. Then I'm getting there at 6:30, and now now I get to coach his team. So that was a part of it. It was a lifestyle as well of a change that I get to be at all the dinners. I get to be at all the athletic events, all of those things, and we weren't going to lift the family to a different city to have the same obligations that late in the afternoon and night when so much of our lives are surrounded by the kids and knowing what eventually they will be doing. And it was, a decision that was going to be made based on time alone. And that to me is what an interesting part with Patrick Mahomes, because what if Patrick wants to coach his son's football team? Like Mahomes is out there coaching. Like you get to a point to where maybe it's his baseball team. Mahomes played baseball, his dad played, but like Bronze's grandpa. Sterling's grandpa, he played baseball. She could play softball. Not Sterling Holmes, but Sterling Mahomes. Like they've got the kids that will eventually be playing these sports, I would guess. They seem to be a pretty athletic family. Mom is a pretty damn good soccer player. So you do wonder if nope, I got to be here at the facilities, or I'm traveling. I can't be there for that game. How much that does start to weigh on you when you've made more money than you can spend and you've got rings on rings and you've accomplished pretty much everything you can accomplish. And even if you're not the GOAT, you're widely going to be considered the second greatest quarterback of all time.
And that's, another part of the equation that we kind of all forget about too. And I haven't heard anybody really calculating it in the last 48 hours is that, this dude's made more money off the field than he's made on it.
It's crazy how much money off the field he's made.
So
it shouldn't say it's crazy. It's just, it's a big part of the the salary too.
It's a big part of it.
They're finally financially set.
They're finally financially set.
I'm just glad. I said it yesterday that, when Forrest Gump said with Bubba Gump, well, they told me I didn't have to worry about money anymore. So that was nice.
Yeah.
That's one less thing to worry about, right?
Kind of the same thing I would expect, Patrick Mahomes to say at a press conference sometime.
Right.
It's like, well, said I don't have to worry about money no more. So that's nice.
Okay, last one, and then we'll take a break. I want to talk about some of the other things going on with the Chiefs in the news this week. Conspiracy theory or just simply a question? The quarterback typically talks a lot in the offseason OTAs and mandatory minicamps. I don't know if he talked last year with OTAs and the mandatory minicamp. I'd have to go back and look, but I just thought about it in talking with Michael in the break. He also agreed to a contract on Wednesday and put out the tweet, Thursday morning about Kansas City here to stay. Any chance Mahomes was not talking this week because of what's going on at Texas Tech? That he's like, Brad, I don't want to deal with it. I know the contract, I know I'm the quarterback, but with all that stuff going on, I'm going to be put in a spot to where I've got to answer questions about my alma mater, me being a big booster, my logo on the jerseys, and if this guy's out there playing, he's wearing my logo while playing. I don't want to deal with it. Give me till training camp to think about how to really come together, and more information that will be developed along the way. Any chance that Mahomes didn't talk yesterday because of Texas Tech?
I can downplay a little bit of that conspiracy by the Chiefs were, from what I had been told in talking with at least PR, was that they were not really planning on putting up a quarterback this week beforehand.
Okay.
This was a long-term plan.
Yeah.
Was that just because and they hadn't made, I guess the better way to put it was they really hadn't made an official decision about if there would be a quarterback this week or who it would be.
I guess it'd be different if he was listed and then they say, quick change, we're going to do somebody else.
It was never going to be Justin Fields. It was always going to be, if they made a quarterback available this week, it was going to be Mahomes, but I think it was also a little bit, based on just how much he did.
Yeah.
Hey, I think that they should have made him available this week because pretty much every other team in the NFL is going to make their starting quarterback available twice during OTAs. And everything, and Mahomes was just available once during the offseason, at least during the offseason period from April to now, and that's probably the least that any starting quarterback in the league. Now, I know the Chiefs will probably say, well, he's injured right now, so, but even the injured starting quarterbacks, let's go see how much Bo Nix is going to be talking, because I bet he's going to be talking more than Mahomes will be this offseason.
We're 6 weeks away from hearing him again.
Yeah.
That'll be, report date at training camp for the quarterbacks and rookies.
But I'll admit, when that court case came down on Monday, my first thought was any chance that Mahomes was going to be a surprise addition on Thursday is completely out the window.
Yeah, I thought that.
And I doubt that was, honestly, I doubt that was Mahomes' decision. I'm pretty sure that decision was made by any number of people above him in the decision-making chain.
Yeah, because part of your job as PR is to protect him too. So we're not going to put you up there. We never said you were talking this week.
I will say with everything that happened with the contract and everything, there's probably only about maybe a 10% chance that he'd get asked about Texas Tech, or though it'd probably be me or Lebo or somebody like that.
I think somebody would have asked him. I think somebody would have asked him.
If he was on the podium this week, it would have had.
It would have pissed off Chiefs fans. They're like, well, you're putting him in a position but he's a huge donor. It's his logo.
He's the face of that program.
Yes, on the field. Yes, absolutely. Even the freaking Texas Tech softball team, like he and Brittany were there yet again, watching Texas Tech and at the College World Series. So
there's probably
he's the face of the university athletic department. To me.
Exactly. And whatever sport.
Yes.
'Cause I don't know who their softball coach is, but I know Mahomes is there at those games. I don't know. Honestly, I don't remember who their basketball coach or their football coach is right now, but I remember Patrick Mahomes is the face of the university.
That's right. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back. We are talking with the face 41 is the mic. He and Nick Jacobs fight every podcast to be the face of 41 is the mic podcast and Chiefs Digest. We talk with Matt Derrick about Wanya being a Falcon, Snead is a Chief, Simmons is a UFC fighter, and Xavier Worthy is yoked. All right, we continue with Matt Derrick, Chiefs Digest 41 is the Mike podcast. All right, Matt, Wanya Morris, the Chiefs and Wanya Morris representation, it came out a couple of days ago. He was allowed to seek a trade, which typically means they're close to coming up with a trade. He goes to Atlanta. There's a Wanya Morrison 7th rounder to get the Falcons 6th rounder in the 2027 NFL Draft.
Particularly enjoy the part where Wanye's agents say that there were multiple suitors.
Well, yes.
So who bid less than moving up from the 7th to the 6th round?
That is a good point.
Was there somebody else out there who
This was
like,
the best we
hey,
could possibly get.
Tell you what, we'll find a way to get the last pick of the draft, and we'll send that to you.
That is great.
Can we stock your soda machines this year?
Yes,
You know.
the best we could possibly get as this deal. One of my takeaways, Matt, was Brett Veach has allowed the Chiefs local analysts and fans to continue to dunk on the draft season conversation of nationally and non-Chiefs fans telling Chiefs fans that they're delusional, that they don't need help at offensive line. That offensive line, you guys are dumb. Chiefs fans are the only ones that think that their offensive line is fine. And then Brett Veach jokes about, well, I just let people think we were going to take a tackle, and laughs about it. And not only that, now they're trading offensive line depth here. So it's just another piece of evidence of how absurd the people around here felt like it was, that it was like, you know, the report was Andy Reid is, quote, hell-bent on fixing this offensive line, to them not taking one and now trading Wanya Morris that could be a swing tackle that started a number of games last year for the Chiefs, or 2 years ago, I should say.
I mean, say what you will about Wanye and everything, and think what you will as a Chiefs fan, but yeah, I mean, he started 16 games. I mean, he has more value around the league than he does to the Chiefs. And I mean, you know, even the national perspective, you mentioned that and everything, it always cracked me up that, you know, because whenever I would see, and no knock on Juwan, but when the national analysts who were saying that the Chiefs need to take a tackle in the first round were saying because they lost Juwan Taylor. And it's like, really? Because last I saw, Esapole and Chu Godric came in and played almost as well as Juwan Taylor.
Well, and that's kind of my point here is with Wanye gone, does this say more about Chu Godric and Esapole and maybe to an extent Ethan Driscoll?
I mean, watching what we saw, you know, before Wanye left and everything, I mean, he was on the outside. I mean, there was no doubt. I mean, the Chiefs had already, and I'm sure they already told Wanye, hey, I mean, look, this is what, you know, we see for you this year and everything. I mean, yeah, it's a contract year and all, but I mean, Jalen Moore, as Andy Reid yesterday said, was the mainstay at right tackle, and he's the, I mean, in pencil right tackle for this team. If Esapole or a Chu Godric or Khalil Benson,
Yeah, right.
or
Yes.
Ethan Driscoll, if any of these cats beat out Jalen Moore, great. But, you know, and then they'll just feel like, hey, I mean, if somebody's good enough to beat out Jalen Moore, now Jalen Moore's our swing tackle, Chiefs are going to feel like that they just won the lottery.
So I want to talk about Snead here in a second, and we'll talk about what part of the conversation with L'Jarius Snead came up was, ooh, this is bad news for insert player here. Wanya Morris being traded. This is good news for insert player here. Is it Pole, Chu? Is it Driscoll? Is it Benson that they really like him? And
I mean, again, honestly, you go back to what we saw this camp. I mean, it's no impact whatsoever. I mean, Wanye was running with the threes.
yeah, I didn't think he was going to make the team.
He was not making the team.
Yeah, I didn't either.
So that's, again, you know, a little bit of, hey, if you're Brett Veach and you're able to get something for Wanye, great. What I think is just absolutely hysterical is that, you know, it was like one of the many comments going around yesterday about from the national analysts and everything, the Falcons get much needed offensive line depth. The Falcons now have both Juwan and Wanye.
That's so great, dude.
I mean, you've been
That's so
telling me
great.
that the Chiefs need O-line depth because they lost Juwan Taylor, and the Falcons still don't have O-line depth because they have Juwan Taylor.
Yeah.
Then I don't know why the Chiefs, you know, needed to have first-round tackle.
What do you? I've seen this commentary, and I know that there are plenty of Veach detractors and people that don't like Veach and think that he's not good or overrated. When the trade went down, I was like, dude, they were going to cut him, and they moved up a round from the 7th round to the 6th round. The Falcons suck this year, and the Chiefs are awesome. That's a pretty significant move from what their 7th round pick could be to get maybe a high-end first or high-end 6th rounder, top of the 6th round. but the commentary that's out there of, oh, that's amazing. They turned a 3rd and 7th rounder into a 6th rounder. That's Brett Veach. Congratulations. I hate the commentary, but your thoughts on so Brett Veach, all he did was turn a 3rd and 7th rounder into a 6th rounder. Why are we celebrating this?
You've got to look at what else you got for that 3rd round pick, which is you got 3 years of value out of Wanye. He played decently for you. I'm not saying he was the best guy in the world, and some of the analytics I'm sure would probably say he was below average or replacement level. But hey, I mean, you got that still. You got 16 starts out of the dude. And he wasn't awful all the time. He had some bad moments here and there, and there were some bad stretches.
And there was some good stretches.
There were some good stretches,
yes.
So yeah, you can't just dismiss the 3 years of value that you got. I mean, there's honestly, if you don't have Wanye Morris and that 3rd round pick there, you might have had somebody like just an undrafted stiff out there, letting people olay themselves to Patrick Mahomes. So.
It's a sunk cost too. I've always hated he was drafted in the 2nd round and you only got this. That's such a dumb argument because what about McDuffie? What about also? Okay, so Trey Smith was a 6th rounder, so we just have to say he's a 6th rounder always. You can't pay him money because he's a 6th rounder. Like just because you get drafted in a certain spot doesn't mean that's exactly who you are or going to be. Kaiir Elam was a 1st-round cornerback. Got let go from the Bills. Like, I don't understand that's all you got back. Wanye Morris. That's such a dumb, lazy argument.
Yeah, so you turned...
Non-ball knower argument.
So you turned a number 21 pick in the draft or 22 pick in the draft and a 3rd rounder into the number 29 pick, a 5th and a 6th rounder for Trent McDuffie. By the same logic, you traded the number 21 and a 3rd. You traded the number 21 pick and a 3rd rounder to get back 29, a 3rd rounder, and a 5th and a 6th. You moved up 8 spots. You gave up 8 spots worth of value for that. Well, yeah, but you got Trent McDuffie along the way, and Wanye Morris was a 3rd rounder. I'd like 3rd rounders to be better than what Wanye Morris was. That'd be great in a perfect world. But there are also some 6th rounders and 7th rounders and 4th rounders that have overperformed. And Wanye Morris was brought in. There was a chance that he could turn into a nice right tackle. Didn't happen. Had some injuries. Swing tackle. It's fine. You move on. You get something for him and a guy you were going to cut anyway. So
yeah, and he started games for 2 teams that won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yes, exactly right. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back. We'll talk about L'Jarius Sneed. We'll talk about Josh Simmons and Xavier Worthy, some of the stories from this week around Chiefs mini camp. The last we'll see of them until people head up to St. Joe. More Zone next. All right, men, if you're out there and you're suffering from symptoms that could be related to low testosterone, Heartland Men's Health is here to help. Some of those symptoms could be a lack of energy. You're not heading to the gym, or you head to the gym and you're not seeing those results you were seeing. You're putting on weight, less productive at work even, sleeping, less than, getting that normal, typical, the recharging sleep. Or some would just call it maybe poor sleep. That's a way to describe it as well. You wake up feeling tired, brain fog. These are all things that could be related to low testosterone. Heartland Men's Health, as I said, here to help with that. If you're in your early to mid-30s, you're already starting to lose 2 to 3% of your testosterone every single year. Older than that, it's happened gradually. It accumulates, and you don't feel the same as you did. And not only that, Heartland Men's Health is also helping men go further with 4 targeted body composition plans featuring GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1, PDA, and more, all designed to boost energy, support metabolism, enhance recovery, and accelerate fat loss. Simply schedule a consult with Heartland Men's Health. They'll do your lab work, have your results within 30 minutes. A licensed medical provider will review your results with you, discuss your options, and help you make the decision together with the medical team. Cost of the appointment, it's $99, and that includes medical consult, T, and PSA test. And if you sign up for testosterone treatment the day of your appointment, your visit, it is free. And the low T treatments combined with the body composition programs, most men notice real improvements, more energy, better focus, improved sleep, stronger workouts, all of those things included. Heartland Men's Health successfully treating men in the Kansas City area with 3 locations to serve you: Overland Park, Independence, between Blue Springs and Lee Summit, and North Kansas City. Call them today at 844-447-6600. Tell them you heard about it right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB, 844-447-6600, or visit heartlandmenshealth.com.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
All right, hanging out with Matt Derrick, Chiefs Digest 41 is the Mike podcast. All right, Matt, L'Jarius Sneed is back in a Chiefs uniform. What's your takeaway and reaction to the reunion with number 38? And he got his number back. Take that, Kevin Knowles, and whatever money he paid you.
Exactly. I was a little surprised because I mean the Chiefs know L'Jarius well, and it's not because they don't like him. I mean they did. They would love to have kept him rather than making a trade with the Titans, but they also knew the reality was just that they did not want to pay L'Jarius for that knee to eventually give out, and it did in Tennessee. He's only started 12 games the last 2 years and didn't work out for them. If he's coming back to be a mentor and just to provide some leadership and stability to a really young defensive back group, and especially at corner, and just be a depth piece, that's fine. It signals a little bit of a worry to me that the Chiefs just are not enamored with the depth that they've got, and that they've got concerns. Because I'll say it, I mean, after watching those 4 OTA practices that we got to see, I would say, hey, I'm 95% certain that barring any injuries, Mansour Delane's going to be starting at corner.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who's going to be starting opposite him. Not 100% sure who's going to be at slot. I mean, I might be only like 60% convinced there. And I don't know what the order is going to be behind the starters. Who's going to be 3, 4, and 5? I mean, and maybe 6. It's going to be interesting, and it's going to be. I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, Spags is trying to adapt to his personnel, and we're gonna see that.
It's funny. You and I differ a lot when it comes to the secondary.
Maybe we should save this for the noon.
I've changed a
lot.
lot just from these 4 practices than I was even like a month ago.
You and I will get into a fun conversation in the noon.
Is that Northern Iowa or you two?
Bono.
Okay, great. By the way,
we'll do that with or without you, Jason.
Yes, I like that.
Nice
job, dude. The money you talked about that he got paid from Tennessee, I do love this part of it. L'Jarius Sneed has made $48.9 million in his career. 43.2 of that was paid to him by the Titans. And he played 12 games. The Chiefs have paid him 5.7 of his $49 million he's made in his career, and now he's back with the Chiefs. Any chance, and this is what I threw out there, and you guys can talk more about secondary and how it impacts cornerbacks and everything, but any chance that L'Jarius Sneed is brought back to maybe play safety?
I've wondered about that as well, and that is an interesting possibility. I did not see him do a lot on Wednesday. I mean, that was the only day he was out there. Thursday was the run test. And, and Tuesday he was just a witness. He was out there in civvies and in the jumpsuit and everything. I thought maybe we were getting the Rashad Breeland treatment, that maybe he was just going to be hanging out all week, and we weren't going to know if he was going to sign or not.
That's right.
I think Rashad Breeland had an apartment there briefly in St. Joe before he eventually became a Chief. But yeah, I've considered that possibility. And yesterday, in the limited activity that he did, I considered even more. I'm like, I mean, is this a possibility? Because you're right. I mean, hey, a lot of corners have done that. They've made the move to safety late in their careers, when you just have to have a little bit different skill set. Maybe you don't have the same speed and everything. L'Jarius, I mean, and like I said, you know, with his changes in his skill set and his body, you know, strong safety, especially if, hey, he's always a hard-hitting corner. So I don't think that would be a huge move for him. And he played safety in college.
Right.
I mean, he was more or less a transition from safety to corner in the NFL, did that at this level.
He went from safety to slot to outside. That's a pretty rare
And I don't think, I mean, again, I don't think at this point in his career and with the knee, I don't think slot's where he's going to play. But I think he'd be a lot more likely to be a safety than a slot, and I could see him just being safety, period.
And I do wonder, because like a couple of famous ones that we talk about in examples of cornerback to safety, Rod Woodson, Charles Woodson. Apparently he's got to be L'Jarius Woodson to be able to do that. But L'Jarius is 190. He's 6 foot 190. Charles Woodson was 210, and Rod Woodson was a thicker player too. I do wonder about, you know, a little, as Shaq would say, lighter in the cakes that L'Jarius Sneed is compared to those other that were thicker, bigger cornerbacks anyway. That transition to safety, is L'Jarius maybe too light, or would they want to put pounds on him if it's more playing safety as opposed to you're outside corner or a slot corner where you got to be quicker and faster.
Could put pounds on him, but again, it's not the old days. I mean,
Yeah.
you want
That's a
different
good point.
guys.
That's a good point.
And hey, you talk about lighter guys playing their positions. I mean, get a load of that quote 285 Josh Simmons playing left tackle.
That's right. Yeah. But like even a Louis Gilman, who seems like a smaller dude, is 10 pounds heavier than Snead.
Yeah, and and Chris Jones even alluded to it this week. I mean, I don't know if he's still 190. I mean, he might be. Maybe he is placed closer to 200.
That's a good point.
And
Yeah.
if that's the case, maybe you feel differently about the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I do think he would be better suited to that. And and you know what? I mean, this is the other part of it too. Maybe we're getting all worked up and everything, and maybe he's just going to turn into Deion Bush and be a guy that you break glass in case of emergency off the practice squad. And I mean, I think they're going to
Gets
bring
an
him in to
interception in an AFC Championship game.
and
Done.
yeah, and yet
Done.
a lot of the guys, the last few years have talked about Deion Bush being a leader in that secondary, even from the practice squad. So
Yeah.
Lighter in the cakes.
We'll have to use that Shaq line.
But
more and more.
you make a really good point though, which I will say this is that the Chiefs, we've seen it, and it even goes back to like 2019 when they did the same thing with Kendall Fuller and Tyrann Matthew.
That's right. Yeah.
And which you could really put those two guys on either side of the defense.
Was Kendall Fuller in season though, right? He went from a cornerback to then one deep.
Yeah, I
Like, he
mean,
was-
they did that mid-season. I mean, that was
Yeah.
a part of that until it took until
That's
like
right.
week 9 that they figured
Yeah.
out what they had.
Yeah.
I mean, but we're seeing a lot of that same thing right now. That the Chiefs want to maybe do that as far as, and they got a lot of the guys that can do that. That you put, hey, is it Chris Roland Wallace and L'Jarius Sneed on opposite sides, and one of them drops back into a safety role. I could see that happening.
Yeah, I like that.
Thanks, Jason.
Thanks, Sterling. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate it. That's the end of the show today for me. Sterling will be taking over. Matt will be hanging out here.
Get ready to argue, pal.
I got to go the
He's
last
won.
2 hours.
I don't know what we'll do without him.
Get ready to argue, Bubba.
Yeah. I don't care. Michael, I don't care what the argument is. I agree with Matt Derrick already.
We're going to go to war.
Smart.
I already agree with Matt. Matt,
Hey.
great point. Sterling, terrible.
You might win the war, but I might win a Jackie battle. We're back at the Zone, Sports Radio 810 WHB. While Jason is away, the kids can play.
Call me a kid. I like that.
What's up, baby? You're a kid?
I could be your dad.
No.
Oh yeah.
Congrats on being a really cool high schooler.
I was going to say if my life had been and social life had been much more interesting in college.
No, dude. You're not that old. You're 50?
Ish.
48?
Oh no, more than that. No, I'm
Matt, I genuinely thought you were like 38.
had this conversation
Good for you, dude.
yesterday.
Great
Chiefs,
skincare
because
routine.
People do think that I am younger than I look.
Well,
I
you-
say it's fat don't crack, but
Well, the thing is I knew you were older than I think you are. So that's why I said 50. But I thought like you're, again,
There's no
early
shot
40s.
you're over 50.
I'm well over 50. Well, not well, I guess ish. I mean, I'm 54.
That is
Here I'm
unbelievable.
outing
Good
myself
for
in
you.
public.
Good for you.
Now I'm going to be too old to be cast in any movies or anything.
Yeah, you could have had me. 22? Huh? That would work. Good for you. We've been a cool
Oh, yeah.
college kid.
Exactly.
Could have
Would
been a
much
cool
more
college
successful
kid.
if my social life actually went in college.
All right, I do want to get into an argument with you with the secondary
Let's do
because I
it.
think you and I are on differing pages. But before we do that, I found the clip. I wasn't lying. We'll play it in cuts as well. I was talking to Shaq, and I asked him who wins a prime one-on-one matchup, you versus him. I knew it's Shaq, but I wanted to get his reaction. And part of his reaction was this incredible quote.
Hovers around the area, he's too light in the cakes.
He's too light in the cakes.
Too light in the cakes.
Have you ever heard someone say you're too light in the cakes?
No. Although, I mean, I was once told during a, I think I may have shared this story before, but during a baseball base running exercise that coach looked at and said, we have 9 base runners and 1 drum major. I was never a strong runner, Sterling. Never a strong runner.
No. You were never too light in the cakes.
Unfortunately, I've never been too light in the cakes.
Never too light in the cakes.
Yes.
L'Jarius Sneed moving to safety. He might be too light in the cakes. That's what you're saying?
It's a possibility.
You're saying he might be a little too.
He's a tough dude, though.
So here's where you and I differ. You say you're really nervous, it sounds like, with a secondary, correct?
After what I have seen in these 4 OTAs and the minicamp and just this entire last month, yes, I'm more concerned than I was a month ago.
So in 4 practices, you were more concerned.
And the addition of L'Jarius Sneed.
I almost offer a differing opinion.
Let's hear it.
One, I don't really give a hoot nor a holler about these 4 practices. Like, I don't. It's all we have to go off of so far, so I understand. And I can understand the swaying drastic one way or the other because that's all we really have to go off of, right? Monsoor Delane, we can all agree, I think, is a legitimate CB1 for this team. I get he's a rookie.
Yes.
But you're drafted 6th overall. Everything coming out, we're content. We're content with him being that guy. I think the combination of Fulton and Noah Williams, I don't care who's CB2, because I think both can do it. I get Fulton didn't play a lot last year, but when he did play finally, he looked pretty darn good. Right? He had one bad start, first, half of his first game, getting his feet wet, and then once they were wet, he was on his skis, jet skiing.
Seemed to have a pretty good stretch at the end of the season. I agree.
Noah Williams, for the most part last year, there were some ups and downs, right? I think some people are glossing over the downs a little bit. But I've always said as you grow into the NFL, from rookie to 2nd to 3rd to 4, those downs become fewer and far between. It's the highs that start to become more of the norm. Well, we saw some great highs from Noah Williams. So can he cut out some of the bottom end of his plays that were left you wanting more and occasionally getting benched? I think the answer is yes. I'm not, and again, I have some concerns with this team. I'm not trying to be a homer here. I just think for me, the secondary is at one spot that I feel pretty comfortable with the depth. Because those 3 guys, where's the outside corners right now? Pretty happy with. L'Jarius Sneed throws a wrench into the plans of where I feel CB4 may go. Outside CB4, by the way. Because I'll hit on CRW, Kennedy, Cater Kohu, to an extent Kevin Knowles, and a little bit later on.
If Snead can play any outside, that's great. It's huge for this team. If not, they've done a really nice job with former first-round reclamation projects. I'm not saying Kyrie Elam's going to be a stud, but was it Bashad Breeland, right? Turned into a viable CB here, was not really one in Minnesota. What about Mike Hughes?
Yeah.
Mike Hughes was done. Came to KC, and now he is CB2 on a really good cornerback room, really, in Atlanta. He's made himself a lot of money.
Dave Merritt makes a lot of people a lot of money.
Can Kyrie Elam be the next in line? I'm not saying he's going to be a stud. I'm not saying it's McDuffie, but can he be Mike Hughes? Can he be Bashad Breeland for those couple years here? I think I could see myself saying yes. And that's your CB4. And that's only outside CB4 if Snead does not play on the outside. Then you get to the slot room. Nickelback.
I'm going to tell you right now, there's a lot of Nickelback out there.
They have so many options this year. And while there are some concerns maybe with most of them, I trust that one will be able to rise to the top. And what does that mean? Jamari Connor's back to his traditional safety role, not playing slot.
That looks permanent regardless.
Which is huge, right?
Yeah.
So you have one of these three guys, Kader Kohu, Jenon Kennedy, CRW. You know my thoughts. I think CRW, I like him a lot. I think he's been an underrated player. Up and down, obviously, the injuries, all of that, but I've been a fan of CRW's game. One of those three, I think, will be a good slot corner this year. We'll find out during training camp. But you have options now. It's not trying to force Chamari into that role because you have no one else. You have options now. So I find myself, that's not even hitting on Jaden Hicks, who, again, we've talked about the ups and downs, the inconsistencies, but to an extent, it doesn't matter as much because now you bring in a Alohi Gilman, and now Chamari's back to his better role as a safety. I disagree because also I think Kevin Knowles is a fine depth piece. Like back end. I like the secondary room, and sounds like you will disagree with me, but I think there's a lot of depth in this room.
I would have co-signed almost everything that you said a month ago. And I think that it's a logical case on paper and makes a lot of sense. And there's some ifs and buts in there and everything. But, I think it's a reasonable case. What I've seen over the last month, though, in the observation and what the Chiefs are doing and what Spags and Merritt seem to be reflecting with their actions and what they're doing, one, they're making Delane work for it, which, that's natural. So I don't expect anything different with a rookie. They're not going to hand the starting job to a rookie. They don't typically do that. They may have done that a little bit with McDuffie. There probably been like others, that they've done that with, but usually they make it work for it. So I got no concerns if they're, one day Delane's on the ones and one day's on the twos. And they're rotating him around. That's fine. I think he's going to be starting day one, if healthy. Then it's like, okay, you've got that top tier of your corners. You feel like, okay, then you've got Noel Williams and Christian Fultner in that starting tier. On some days, both of them look like CB2. On some days, each of them look like CB4. The same inconsistencies that we saw last year. And with Fulton, we didn't see, I think he was only on the field for 2 of the 4 practices that were open during the media during OTAs, so not a complete grade. Noel Williams, there were days. The other day he had 2 fantastic plays. One was in 7-on-7. There was a Holmes throw to the back of the end zone for Noah Gray that he was just trying to just drop in there on a dime. It was a good throw. Noel Williams just absolutely high pointed it, probably the best vertical leap of his life, and gets the interception. There was another play that he broke up and could have had an interception on that one too, but it was 2 great defensive plays. He'll have those, and then he's going to have some where his guy gets away from him, and there's a big play downfield. It's just the same inconsistencies that we've seen. I like a lot of things about Noel Williams, especially, he's a little bit bigger guy. He plays bigger, so we've seen him. Last year he stepped in. Remember against that game against the Eagles, made a couple of plays downfield against some of their big receivers and didn't blink. So, but then there were also some times when he was up against some inferior guys and got beat. And we're still kind of seeing that inconsistency. So,
But aren't we so early on in the offseason that, I mean, this is early, of course. We weren't going to see him come back, and all of a sudden, these 4 practices, he looks locked down. I mean, that you can do so much as a corner, but you need live action against dudes, right? You working out isn't going to solve maybe some of the, if you want to say, mental lapses, because we think the physical traits are there for him. Seeing some of the highlights, and again, not just taking the highlights and forgetting all the lowlights, but we're going to see some progression from him, I think. We're not going to see some regression from a guy that young who did show flashes last year. I mean, those 4 practices would have had to have been disastrous for me to all of a sudden think that Noah Williams isn't a starting CB2 caliber player this year.
but again, like I said, you look at just the how are these guys being rotated and how are they being used and what's the actions speaking about them. And the one thing for sure is that nobody's in the same place every single day. And we've got guys who are bouncing around. Some days, when Christian Fulton's there, some days he's ahead of Noah Williams. Some days Noah Williams is ahead of Christian Fulton. Some days some guys are ahead of Delane. Some days both guys are ahead of Delane. I mean, they're doing what Spags does every year, which is that he rotates his D-backs around, corners and safeties. He's looking for the best rotation, the best lineup.
Sure.
And he's looking, for what guys do best. Maybe this guy is better off the bench. Maybe this guy's, better as a starter. Maybe this guy's better in the slot. I mean, they're going to do maybe this guy's better against big guys. Maybe this one's better against short receivers. I mean, he's going to test everything. And that's a lot of what they're doing right now. But, when you look at it, I mean, those 2 guys, they were inconsistent last year. And in this short sample size, they were inconsistent again. And there's just a nagging thing in me that was like, okay, well, if one of these guys was as consistent as you'd hope they would be, I don't know if you're signing L'Jarius Sneed. That's one back of the thought mind.
Sure.
Then you go to the next tier. So let's say those 3 guys are 3 permanent. You think they're going to make the team if they're healthy. You got 3 guys right there. And then from the corner spot, okay, you're probably going to have at least one guy that can play nickel. And, and Canada, you think is going to make the spot. I mean, you drafted him. So you're thinking you're going to get a spot for him, period. Is he going to be the starter? Well, right now, I mean, I would say that, from a mainstay point of view, a little bit like Andy Reid talking about Jalen Moore, from the mainstay point of view, you'd say Chris Roland Wallace is going to be that nickel. Well, he's going to count as a safety. So now let's just say you're going to have 2 corners. One of them is going to be Canada. Who's next? Well, I mean, honestly, right now, I think
they keep 10 guys.
Between the total, yeah. They probably will. So it could be 6 and 4.
Yeah, and the breakdown's not quite as important because CRW might be listed as a safety.
Right.
Shamari might be listed as a corner because of the slot. There's going to be a lot of DB. I think there's going to be a lot of DB on some of these names. Like, Canada might be listed as, could be either one. L'Jarius Sneed could be listed as either one.
Yeah, and when I talk about him and everything, I'm always going with, hey, what did they do during practice? What groups did they work with and everything? And that's why, Chris Roland Wallace is always going to be a safety because he works with the safeties every day.
Yeah,
he's not hanging out with the corners, even if he plays slot corner a lot. He's pretty much a safety. But okay, let's say Canada is one of those guys. So okay, you got 4 there for sure. Who will be next? I mean, honestly, you talk about liking Kevin Knowles. Melvin Smith is ahead of Kevin Knowles right now.
Sure.
So is that a good thing about Melvin Smith, or is it a bad sign about Kevin Knowles?
Well, here's just the Big 10, if you will, because I think they keep 10 this year. Whenever there's a lot of change, they keep 10. Jason and I went through a little list. It was 22, 24, and then in 23 and 25 it was 9. 22 and 24 it was 10. I think this year is a tenner. Right, and we're going by trends every 2 years, clearly. You have Sneed, Chamari, Alohi Gilman, Monster Delane, Cater Kohu, Noah Williams, Jaden Hicks, Christian Fulton, Jadon Kennedy, and you would have Christian Roland Wallace if you wanted to. There's 10.
Yeah. You got 3 slot corners.
By the way,
7.
And so I think, in my opinion, one of Kohu or CRW probably doesn't make the team.
And I would say this point, CRW would be like a 90% to make this team for me.
And that's where I think it's not great news. It's a small contract for Kader Kohu. Because I think Kyer Elam might be a guy that makes a team because he has the outside CB potential. A lot of the guys I've mentioned, we're not talking outside corner. That's why I said if L'Jarius can play outside, that's phenomenal, right? That would be a huge benefit. But if not, you are probably looking at Kyer Elam as your outside CB4.
And honestly, I would list Kyer Elam ahead of Kevin Knowles right now. I mean, I would put him and Melvin Smith in the same category.
I would too. I put Kyer above both Melvin and Kevin.
But I would say that of L'Jarius Sneed, Kader Kohu, and Kyer Elam, I would bet only one of those makes the roster.
Of which ones?
Of Kohu, Sneed, and Elam.
You think only one?
I think only one.
Does that mean you think one of Kevin or Melvin makes the roster?
Maybe not either.
Because then you're almost breaking it down to where they keep 9 if you go that route.
It's possible, but again, I mean, you know, there may be some math about who you think you can sneak onto the practice squad, but I mean, you've got 40 you're going to know. I would put it like 90% to keep right now, which is going to be Delane. Get my numbers off here. Okay, so Delane. Forgetting everybody's name.
G my laptop. Here you go. Here you go. There's the depth chart pulled up for you.
You're gonna have Delane. You're gonna have Fulton. You're gonna have.
How your peepers work?
My peepers are not working at all.
Okay,
so that's too small a type for me to see without my glasses. You're gonna have Fulton. You're gonna have Williams, and you're gonna have Candidate. So those are the 4 that I would say are like 90% to keep.
Sure.
I mean, right now, and well, at the corner spot, and then you throw in him. You want to go ahead and get into that part? Okay. You're going to have Chamari Connor. You're going to have Alohi Gilman.
Jaden Hicks, probably.
Hicks and CRW.
So that's 8.
So we're up to 8 right now. I mean,
so then it's Sneed, Kohu, Kyer.
Or
Melvin,
Kevin, yeah. I mean, 2 of those will make the roster. So, I mean, if it's Melvin Smith and I mean, I think if L'Jarius Sneed, I think it's probably bad for Kyer Elam if LJ makes it. I mean, and it's entirely possible. I mean, there's an outside chance where I guess 2 of those 3 veterans could make it, but I think it's more likely and that just one of them does. And maybe you can try and sneak some of them onto the practice squad. I mean, here's the thing. I mean, maybe L'Jarius goes out there and impresses a lot of people. The dude didn't sign until June.
Oh no, I think people
you get to the cut down at the end of August, beginning of September. I don't think anybody could be clamoring over trying to get L'Jarius Sneed because they had 3 months to sign L'Jarius Sneed.
And by the way, I don't think people who my goal for Sneed to an extent is what Kareem Hunt did last year for KC, which is he's not the same guy he was the first time around.
Right.
Don't expect him to be the same guy the first time around. But can he be effective in his new role?
Yep.
Kareem was very effective in his new role. But if the Chiefs asked him to do too much, it wasn't going to be efficient. It wasn't going to work. If Sneed can find that role for this team, whatever it may be, if it's 20 snaps a game, 30 snaps a game, awesome, phenomenal. Could it be safety? Could it be outside? Hell, it could even be slot. I know you said you don't see it that way, but I'm just throwing out hypotheticals here, right? If he has a specific role, and maybe it's against a bigger bodied, one of the power slots, if you will, right? If we think he's lost a step. Because Kader Kohu, for example, is pretty small, right? He's 5'9", 5'10".
Yeah.
That's what I think of Sneed being brought back. Similar to Kareem Hunt. Not an every down guy, not your bell cow, maybe not even a starter, but effective in his role. And that's what I see with a lot of these guys in the secondary room. I see a lot of guys who could be effective at their specific role. You're right. There might not be CB2. There might not just be a dude you say plug and play, and that's our guy between Noel and Christian. But I think both do things well, and it might be tougher on Dave Merritt and Spags. But don't we trust those guys? Isn't that what they do best?
No, I mean, you absolutely trust them, and that's what I mean. Honestly, that's what I'm saying when I say that I don't know what this defensive back room is, because I am trusting them. And right now, they're saying with their actions, the players that they're putting on the field, bringing back L'Jarius, I think they're saying they just don't know what they have.
But they did this 2 years ago.
Several times.
And they've called them out. Was it Jalen Watson and Josh Williams? And I think that was 2 years ago, right? When they were like, no, we don't know what we have here.
Right.
And then what happened?
They
were
eventually
good.
figured
They
it out.
were good. They figured it out. Yes.
In 2019, they didn't. I mean,
but now we're going back 7 years.
Well, no, but I'm saying it's
lifetime.
It's part of a pattern, which is that other than maybe 23 and 24, maybe since Spags has been here, the secondary has been a cobble together, figure out what you've got, and put together the best rotation.
But it works.
And in 2019, I mean, it took them until midseason.
Sure.
I mean, remember that team was...
But now we're going 7 years back. I mean, since then, they've been better earlier in the year than that year. Because you're right. That was the knock against Spags was, not even a knock, it was almost a joke. First half of the year defense, they had some struggles. Second half, they'd be nails. But also, I think there was probably more talent now in the second than it was in 2019.
I don't know. I feel like that group was more experienced. I mean, Kendall Fuller had a lot of experience.
Yeah,
Travaris Ford was young.
Yeah.
But you had Tyrann Matthew. I mean,
you're right.
To build around.
You're right. I was thinking more of like the depth afterwards, but I think it's because would have been Rashad Fenton probably.
Yeah, I guess I guess you think he would have been here. Yeah, he would have been there. So, but I mean, that's the thing is that it's been year in, year out. Some years they figured out faster than others. I mean, I think in some years it's been taking them the first quarter of the season, maybe 4 weeks in, before they really figure out what their best lineup and rotation is. And like I said, I mean, I think in 23 and 24, those were a couple of years where they knew their identity and what their best rotation was day one. And they were really good defenses that year. So, I mean, that made sense. But when they've had a lot of turnover, when they have a lot of new faces, it takes them longer to figure out who works best together, who plays best together. And not everything's going to work. I mean, and right now, I mean, they're testing everything. The fact that I don't know if the fact that they're giving so many looks right now to Chris Roland Wallace and to Jaden Candidate, it's simply that they don't know what those guys can do in a full-time role because Candidate's completely new to them. Roland Wallace has been a backup all along, never been, a starter or a full-time player. Candidate, you've got 3 years of film on him and that you know what he is, but then he's also coming back from a serious knee injury.
Sure.
So is that simply because, hey, wait a minute, we have 3 years of NFL film on this kid, so we know what he can do. We want to see what Roland Wallace and what Candidate can do? Or are their actions saying, no, this guy's not back from the knee injury yet, so we know it's not going to be him. It's going to be one of these two guys. I don't know. But right now, I mean, I think a lot of people on the outside think it's going to be Cater Kohu is going to be the slot corner. And I'm saying right now, I mean, what we're seeing right now is I don't think it's going to be him.
No, I would agree. Again, the contract wasn't enough to make it feel like you have to stick with him. But to me,
if that's the case, I mean, you're not going to probably keep 2 slot corners.
I think he might have the largest outcome either way.
Yeah.
If Kohu's the starter, I can see it. If he's cut, I can see it.
To me, it's just really, really hard. As versatile as Chris Roland Wallace is, it's really hard for me to see all 3 of those guys making it. I mean, it's really like 2 of the 3.
You and I are lockstep. I think it is 2 of the 3. I think it's two of those 3 guys. You and I will not. That's the one thing we can agree on. We can come across the aisle right here and
we know that
and agree. So, is secondary defensively? That's the spot you're most worried about, or is it still maybe edge, or is it linebacker with maybe the potential lack of depth?
I'll be honest. I mean, my level of concern for the secondary is high, simply because I don't know what everybody's going to be. I know, like I said, even for instance, I know Monster Delaney. I think he's going to be a starter week 1. I don't know for certain yet. Until the pads come on, I'm not going to know what any of those guys are. So I don't know if he's.
But you're using no pads to knock the guys.
Yeah, because they're inconsistent. I mean, they should be around the football. They shouldn't be, slipping and falling and letting guys just run past them and blowing plays and being out of the picture. I mean, this. If anybody's going to shine in June, it should be receivers and defensive backs. And if you're not impressing me in June, you're going to have a hard time impressing me in September. But we don't know. I don't know how consistent Mansour Delane is going to be. I think he has been less consistent than like Trent McDuffie was at his rookie season, but that doesn't mean anything. You know, I mean, and we're talking about practice. So I don't know. I mean, Mansour Delane could just go out there in week 1 and all of a sudden the lights come on, the switch flips, and he's a totally different dude. And it's like, don't throw the ball at that guy.
Yeah.
And pick on Chris Wallace or pick on, Christian Fulton all day long. And then we're going to find out what happens to those guys. But that said, you're talking about other weaknesses. I'm terrified at tight end for this team.
Terrified.
I'm terrified.
Petrified.
I don't think that they don't have another Leo Chanel at linebacker, so that's a question for sure. And but Brendan Daly's been pretty good about taking what he's been given. I mean, which is usually a lot of undrafted free agents and turning them into productive players. And one thing we did not get into at the corner situation that we'll have to at some point is just talk about who's going to be playing special teams out of that group.
Also true. I think Kennedy would be the
Kennedy's the easy one.
Easy. Probably CRW is probably playing.
Well, Jerry Sneed's not playing a single snap of
Sneed's
special
not.
teams. No.
I don't know if Kyer Elam is. I don't know what he did at.
But that's the thing is that if a guy like Sneed makes a team and is not playing any special team snaps, Delane's probably going to play some. I mean, McDuffie played some early on in his career, even though he was starting. I mean, that can happen. So,
but with tight end, going back
tight
there,
end is terrifying because I mean, yes, Travis is Travis. I still think Travis is Travis. I think he can go out there and give you 700 to 800 yards in his sleep still. It's just that's reality. I don't know that he's going to be healthy enough at 37 to play all 17 games. You're always crossing your fingers there. You would like for him to get fewer snaps, and that's not going to happen with the line behind him right now. But I don't feel like Noah Gray's had a very good mini camp or OTAs.
What happened? What's happened to Noah Gray?
He's getting old.
He's not that old. That's the issue.
Well, he's
27.
He's an undersized,
newly 27.
He's an undersized, slow tight end that's over the hill. I mean, not every guy's going to play until they're 30.
Sure.
And Noah Gray.
Is he safe?
I mean, Noah Gray, he's never even cracked 400 yards in his career.
No, but is he safe? I mean, his contract is what it is.
There's a little bit of money you could, save by walking away. It's not much. I mean, because I think he still has maybe, is it $4 or $5 million in dead cap, versus like maybe a $7.5 million cap hit. I can't remember the exact number.
I'm looking up right now.
But I mean, here it's less about him being safe and more about him being productive. And I'm just worried about how productive he can be this year. Behind them,
you'd save nearly $4 million.
No one has been productive whatsoever. I mean, Trey Watson has, I think, been the best tight end behind Noah. And honestly, there's times when Trey Watson's looked better than Noah Gray.
So Jared Wiley
will have a fine catch and then drop a ball in his breadbasket. I don't know what he is. Breeningstool hardly gets any targets because, I mean, he was out one day and, just doesn't get open.
John Michael Gillenborg.
Had a right compression sleeve on his right leg all throughout OTAs. Didn't practice.
Great.
Yeah.
Are you surprised? For example, I've been screaming this name from the top of the mountaintops. Two guys. One, Cam Jordan, who I think he doesn't want to sign yet.
I don't think he wants to sign with anybody. It's not New Orleans. So
maybe, but also just training camp in general. I think at that age, you're sitting here going, I don't need to be in St. Joe at 95 degrees, ripping through the sun. Doesn't seem like the most enjoyable thing. Will Dissly.
Yeah.
I am shocked. Like, that might be the name that I'm the most shocked that the Chiefs were not all in on.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, Kenny Yeboah came in for a tryout. He was one of 2 tryout guys. They only had 2 tryout. This shows you how the Chiefs feel about their tight end position. They had 2 tryout players in this mini camp. They were both tight ends. There was Kenny Yeboah, who was like with the Jets for 4 years.
Sure.
Been a decent player. I mean, nothing, a little bit more than a bench player, but about that. But it looks like he's got potential. He had actually a really nice camp. I'm surprised that the Chiefs let him get out of town. He ended up signing with Arizona, I think it was yesterday. I was surprised that they let that happen. I thought they'd hold on to him. But better offer, I guess, came along. And they had Mason Pline, like a second-year guy from Furman. And he's a big guy. He's like 6'7". He looked decent too. I was surprised that they didn't try and land either one of them because they need some help there. But Will Dissly, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I don't know who else is out there that's going to be able to come in and give you some help, but I would right now be terrified about that tight end room because it's very unproven. No one is just breaking through and showing anything. Everybody's been very inconsistent. I mean, we saw Travis Kelce out there for 2 days, and Travis came in there and just pretty much looked like, obviously, the best. It's a little bit like watching Mahomes in 7-on-7.
Sure.
I mean, you see him, and you're like, okay, well, that's the best quarterback on this team by far. I mean, Travis just comes in there and, turns around and catches a couple of balls. It's like, okay, well, that's how you're supposed to play tight end. No one else is in the ballpark with these guys. And like I said, I mean, Noah Gray, based on what Noah Gray did last year, and now backing it up this year with what we've seen in the offseason, I'm seeing the guy's just like a half step slower and just not the same guy he was a few years ago. I mean, if he's going to be a blocking tight end, great, but he's not going to be a receiver anymore.
Matt Derrick, first he was afraid, he was petrified. That was actually about the tight end room and the defensive back room in his mind. Matt Derrick, 41 is the Mike podcast. Matt, always appreciate it. You and I disagree on the defensive back room. We're pretty lockstep when it comes to tight ends, though. So we can at least end on
there you go,
some sort of
And I want to try to tell you what I see, Sterling.
Hey, you already told me you had bad peepers, dog. You already said you had bad peepers.
I was wearing my glasses watching those practices. I had binoculars, too.
We'll take a break. We'll come back. More Zone next.
Twitter thinks he's funny.
Shame on you nerds.
His wife and kids think he's lame.
No!
We couldn't get Paul, so we're stuck with Mick.
Yep. Okay, still got it going on.
Mick Schaefer on The Zone with Jason Anderson.
Hold your ears, folks. It's showtime.
Welcome to The Zone, Sports Radio 810, WHB, Sterling Holmes, Michael Darcy, Mick Schaefer. Mick, how are you?
Oh, horrible. Where's Jason?
Oh.
It said just there on the bump back that Jason. It's with Jason Anderson. What happened?
Yeah, we need to make one when he has to go to his kids' baseball games.
His kids. Oh my god.
Oh, look at me. I'm a good dad. Gosh.
About me, games I've missed of my kids for work.
Dude.
Most of them.
Teach your kid negative reinforcement. Sorry, Bubba. I ain't going to be there. So quit asking. You got Nick Saban this thing.
That's where he's at.
He's heading to Arkansas right now.
Okay, gotcha. At least he's not checking out to go to 3-2. Family trip, I guess.
I guess. See, you make fun of me for missing days for golfing. Yeah, I'm the one grinding. He's going to his kids' baseball.
Well, I mean, yours is still worse, but I mean,
No
both are bad.
chance.
Yours is still worse.
I'm out here doing exercise.
Are you
trying to
doing
better
exercise?
myself?
That's it.
Am I wrong here?
You're doing exercise. That's why you golf. It's good
It's
exercise.
good
That's it?
exercise, yeah.
He's
Good
too late
cardio.
in the cakes.
So you don't take a cart then ever. You just walk all the
Sometimes.
time.
I like to walk. I prefer to walk. I don't always walk.
I don't believe anybody who says that.
I do.
Jeremy Guthrie on the broadcast the other night, on the Royals broadcast, said, I played 36, walked all 36, and my back afterward. I'm like, yeah, of course your back was something afterward. I've never heard of somebody walking 36 outside of like
Bandon.
a pro golfer having to make up a round on a Sunday or something
Bandon
like that.
dunes, you'll walk 36. But yes,
Wait, you
it's
have
rare.
to play 36?
Well, you can't have a cart, so you have to walk, and a lot of people play 36 at Benton. Yeah.
Why? They don't play 18? A lot of people play 36?
Yeah, because
Why?
there's 5 courses, 6 if you get the par 3 course, so people run it back.
You can't have carts?
No, there's no carts.
Oh, I'm never going there. It's ridiculous.
You're missing out, dog.
Am I? On what? Band exhaustion? There's a million courses as nice as that course,
No.
I'm sure.
A million courses. As
1,000
nice.
courses.
No. I would say maybe 45.
How many PGA Tour events they play there?
They don't do them there.
Oh, okay. So
They
there's
just do
everything
smaller
on the
ones
PGA
there.
Tour is better.
No,
Everything on the
you think TPC? Sorry,
Scottsdale, sure, everything
No,
better.
dude.
Yeah, Pebble Beach, yeah, probably better.
I'll give you. I will.
Thanks.
Have you never looked this up? It's on all of these awards.
No, I haven't looked up golf course awards.
Learn ball, dude.
Oh my God, that's gonna be a long hour and a half.
Do you like the? So who's your 10 to make the Chiefs secondary?
Oh my God, Matt's so right. This is a huge hole. You were talking yourself. This is when you said you were overwhelmed by the Royals' off-season moves. This
No,
is the
I didn't
exact
say
same
overwhelmed.
Sterling.
I never said overwhelmed.
He said whelmed. You
I
said
said-
overwhelmed.
no, I said whelmed.
said correctly underwhelmed.
I said whelmed.
No,
don't
you were having
dare
find it.
find it. Check
Find
tape.
it.
He was whelmed. Darcy
you were
looks so
over
sad.
the moon
More work for me.
Isaac Collins and Lane Thomas. You were in love with, is it Nick Mears? I don't remember. Mears?
Yeah,
you were in love with those
Meerkat.
guys.
I was not in
You were
love.
a fan, and I appreciate the positivity because I'm
no.
losing positivity in my
I
life
wasn't.
every year. This is the exact conversation. What's the term? The secondary's buns, dog.
I was whelmed, but I
Overwhelmed.
was no. I said I've been overwhelmed if they got a big bat. I said I was whelmed by the moves they made because you said under. I did like the Isaac Collins move. I
loved it.
did.
You're like, bro, did you see him in the playoffs? I was like, dog, no. I didn't need to see him. I'm sure he had a great playoff run as a rookie, and nobody's seen him before. Now there's a book out on him, and he swings and
He doesn't
strikes
swing.
out.
I wish
yeah,
he swung.
does. He does.
Actually wish
he
he
strikes
swung.
out at a lot of big moments.
I looked at. I just don't think he swings when there's guys on base. He's like, what if I just pretend I can walk? What if they don't see me here?
Yeah. Here's who you're hanging your hat on. Christian Healthy Scratch Fulton. I believe that is his Christian middle name. Noel Williams. No interceptions rookie year, right? No interceptions.
This team doesn't get interceptions. Not what they're about. They're about good, staunch D.
Okay, gotcha. Sacks.
Are they about sacks?
No,
That's
hate
the other
sacks.
problem.
They hate
That's the other
sacks.
problem because rookie Mansour Delane, 6th pick. When do those guys ever not pan out?
Actually, not many. We looked it up because I thought the same thing too. The last one was like Jeff Okuda.
Okay. Whatever. Those are big leaps that all three of those guys. You're hanging around. They lost their 3 best secondary players, of course, and they have no pass rush. 0 pass rush for a bad secondary is just
I'll give him a
3
3 of the 10 on the pass rush scale. I'll give him 3 out of 10.
Who, the D-line?
D-line, I'll give him a 3 out of 10.
How'd they ever get to 3?
Chris Jones is doing about a 2.
Chris
and
Jones is
Carlisle
a
just
year older.
is giving you 1.
I'll go half that. I'll go 1.5. 1.5.
No, I'm more concerned still with one side of the edge.
Yes,
we'll
I'm more
see our
concerned with
Mason
that,
Thomas,
but then it's probably tight ends up there. I mean,
tight ends probably
what are they doing? I mean, Travis produces because Travis gets thrown to a lot.
If Travis gets
he's
injured,
not still Travis.
If Travis gets injured, that room is
but he's older.
Buns.
He's not what he was 5 years ago.
Yeah, he's not as good as he once was, but he's good once as he ever was. We know that. There was a song about that.
Yeah.
He can do it for one more year. Okay? That song's
Toby
a-
Keith, he played football too, allegedly, in college.
And by the way, wild song when he gets to the
sisters.
The sisters. Weird.
Bold move. Never.
I don't know how that's going to work out
Never
for
met
you.
sisters like that before.
Yeah, that's crazy. Toby, man.
Yeah. I think that's, well, who knows? He was Toby Keith, rest in peace. Maybe that happened if you're at his level.
If that happens, good for you, I guess. I mean, it feels still a little awkward at some point, though. That had to be a little.
For him, no.
Yeah, I guess maybe not for him. For sisters,
definitely, I would think so.
I'd imagine so. I'd imagine. Darcy has no idea what we're talking about right now. It's country songs that you don't always want to look at the lyrics at some country songs. You just want to.
Well, the problem with country songs, you always understand the lyrics.
Yeah, you can hear
them. You have no idea what he's saying.
Yeah.
Maybe Eddie Vedder's singing about sisters, but we don't know.
We don't know.
You always understand
Is that
the
what
lyrics.
Even Flow's about?
I think so.
Or daughter.
God. Maybe it's called Don't Call Me Daddy. We can't tell what he's saying there. So anyway, yeah, I think there are concerns about every single position group.
I have less concerns in the secondary than the average person. How about that?
Yeah, well, we're gonna mark this so Michael, in a year where you won't be here, but whoever's will be the new guy back there because you move on. You'll be like, I want to make some money, and we'll mark
it has to be a Jason thing.
What's that?
It has to be a Jason thing.
It has to be. Well, or
Because-
me,
or
because
you've been here
too. So mark it to where, like, when Sterling comes back and said, no, I was really worried about the secondary.
No,
You're like,
no, I was not.
I want to be on record. I agree with Mick. Actually, no, I'm between both of you.
Oh, wait, what? You played both sides. That way you can't be wrong.
You got to be hot
You're
or cold. Let's
way
go.
too optimistic.
It's radio, dude. You can't be in the middle. You have to pick a side.
Okay, I side more with Mick then.
Yeah, it's an easy one.
Congrats on being wrong.
Oh my gosh.
I think look, me and Mick, I think are going to kill Royal ZOUs. Both incredibly negative.
Yeah.
Well,
we were spot on, whether it's negative or
right.
not. We were realists, really. That's the whole
I was
deal.
kind of more
We
on
weren't-
that side.
We weren't fanboys.
Jason was team.
Yeah.
Everything's going right. No, hear me out. I just think the secondary is better, even with their youth, and
Than last
partially.
year?
No,
It was bad last year.
it was not bad last year. Partially, last year they got zero pass rush. I'm not blaming Watson and McDuffie for
zero
And they got
pass
better
rush
this
year,
offseason,
and they
right?
got worse in the secondary.
They got better in the pass rush, but a little
Did
bit.
they? How?
I don't know
R.
if they
Mason
did.
Thomas.
we got another guy
and
we've
Peter
never
Woods.
seen.
And Omar
never
Normanlot's
seen.
back. I don't care.
Two guys we've never seen.
I'm believing.
Yeah, that's good, and I appreciate that. I appreciate.
I'm a
the fan
rational.
that-
No.
Oh, don't say rational.
Because hear me out.
How's that?
What has Dave Merritt? What has Spagnuolo shown you? They've shown you they can.
Loaded question.
But not in the secondary. When was the last time they had a bad secondary?
What's the definition of bad? I don't know their PFF ranks every year. They've been good ever since the 5 they drafted and 22 have been there, right?
They were better before that still, but yes, they were good 19.
Went back and looked with Bashad Breeland and
I mean, what's good? You're just naming names. Was there a ranking?
top
there?
10, top 10
in what? Like just like what stat or whatever?
I don't.
In the Sterling stat head?
In the Sterling stat.
I remember. Yeah, they were better
It's
than
called the
Carolina
weighted
and
Sterling
Pittsburgh.
stat.
Okay.
WSS.
Okay.
It's new.
That pass rush sucks, though. It sucks.
It's buns.
Horrible.
So you think that's going to help a very young secondary that has injury?
It's not going to help, but they're going to be fine.
Oh my God.
The secondary's not the issue.
It's the second issue. The first is the D-line.
It's a tertiary issue at best.
If tertiary means second, then you're right. Yeah.
No.
It's bad.
We'll take a break. We'll go
They
to the,
lost their three best defensive
We'll
backs.
go to the tertiary segment of the zone next. Have you ever been told, Mick, that you were light in the cakes?
No, nothing. Light and nothing. So, but I would love to be lighting the cakes.
Yeah.
Skinnier.
Here, play. You got that, Darcy. Here's Shaq. On why. Hey, Shaq. Who's winning?
Around the area, he's too light in the cakes.
Hey, Shaq. Who's winning 1-on-1? You or Wemby? That was the answer I got back.
I
from
would
him.
side with Shaq in his prime. Absolutely, he's gonna score every time because he's gonna bully him down there, and Wemby's gonna miss a couple shots.
I got a little scared because the thing was he needed to lose a little weight in the cakes because when I went out in 2003-04 to see him in LA, he didn't play. That was the game he got sat because he was
he's too light in the cakes.
Too heavy in the
cakes. Too many cakes.
He's
got cakes in the cakes.
Too many cakes, actually. Shockingly. All right, let's talk some Chiefs on the other side. Welcome back to the Zone, Sports Radio 810 WHB. While Jason's away, the kids can play.
Let's go.
Bosnia-Herzegovina.
Bosnia-Herzegovina.
Herzegovina.
It's fine. You're close. It's fine. It's a tough one. Remember, was it Wayne Gretzky who was up there when they were announcing?
Oh, that
all
was
the pool?
incredible.
He was getting a lot of them wrong.
Even the easy ones like Jordan.
Yes, that's right. And then Aaron Judge got up there with a couple toughies and just crushed it.
I was trying to think of some of the other great ones that I wish we could pull that
the
up.
great one didn't do.
That
Right?
the great one didn't do. Can we do you think it's on?
I'm sure.
Wayne
I'm sure it's somewhere.
Gretzky.
World Cup names. World Cup countries.
World.
That's right. He said Jordan, right, or something like that.
Yeah, you're like,
talking
okay,
about
no.
like Bill Belichick's girlfriend.
Yeah, like, gosh, I hate
She in the tournament.
World Cup pronunciation.
I tell you, as you're looking this up, I am so much more into the World Cup this year for obvious reasons, right? It's in the United States. It's in Kansas City. We have 4 teams training here, base camping here. My number 2 team is Algeria. Go.
Yeah,
Desert Foxes. The Finnick Foxes. The Desert Warriors. That's what they call themselves. They're playing 2 matches here. They're staying in Lawrence. Really cool. So, but I think the biggest thing is like they're at normal times. These times are going to be like, especially when they get to 4 matches per day, 11, 2, 5, 8. It's like college football Saturday.
It's awesome. It's
every
electric,
day.
dude.
It's perfect. And now they're starting off slower here with 2 matches each day, but it's 2 and 8. We've got Friday night, U.S. playing at 8 o'clock. It's not halfway across the world. You have to stay up late or get up early to watch it, which I didn't do. So I think for that reason, as much as it being in Kansas City, I'm all in.
Dude, I'm all the way in. Algeria is just on spring break right now. They go, give us a place that has a pool, a college town,
Where I could
and we can
rip
smoke.
cigs.
So I can rip some darts.
And they went and shot at Allen Fieldhouse.
Yeah.
I always wonder like how much, people from other countries and let alone Northern Africa, but even like Europe know about do they know about Kansas? Have they heard of
Probably
this
not.
state? Maybe they've heard of it, but they don't know. Most of the people I know in America couldn't point to each state on a map or whatever. But I wonder, have they, in Algeria, had they heard of KU basketball?
Probably not.
Yeah.
And they're probably just going, whoa, this is cool.
I bet the coaches or the people organizing the trip knew
them.
that this is a big deal. At the very least, knew, okay, this is okay in its realm, right? It would be like us going over to a soccer stadium we haven't heard of, but they've held FA Cups here, they've held World Cup matches here,
Sure.
Messi's played here, all that. Okay, let's go take pictures. I bet it's something like that, but I was just curious as they were all just, some of them had okay form, most didn't, as they were just taking free throws and threes inside Allen Fieldhouse. I'm like, I wonder how much they appreciate this.
That's awesome. Yeah, they're an easy team.
They went to the Hog too, Hogan Ballpark, and
they went to the wheel.
They didn't show video of that.
Yeah.
They were kicking field goals inside
In the boom room back
football
there.
stadium. Oh my gosh!
What, Darcy?
You'd never get them back. They'd never play soccer.
Convert them. They'd stay in Lawrence, and they might have to institute a men's soccer team for KU.
Well, the NCAA couldn't stop them, so that'd be the new KU soccer team, and they'd have eligibility probably.
They would have none. I mean, I kind of can't wait for. I'm still holding out hope that Tech comes to their senses and does it, but I kind of can't wait for all the hate they will get during football season,
real
especially
quick,
when he's on the field.
I do want to talk about that, but just real sidetrack before I forget.
Sure.
With the whole, they probably have never heard of Kansas or Kansas City or any of that. This is what's so cool about the World Cup and Kansas City being a host city, because now people from other countries who might not know many places in the United States will have heard, oh, New York, L.A., Kansas City.
Yeah.
Like, Kansas City will now be one of the places that people know. Like, when the Chiefs play in Germany, oh, yeah, Frankfurt, Munich, right? Like, I know more German cities. I know a lot just because I took a couple years of German. So, like, but the point still remains that the average person doesn't know a lot of German cities. But you know, when your team goes over and travels and plays there, all of a sudden, that city gets put on the map, and now a lot more people know and will even look up your history. And maybe they'll travel there. And so that's what I think is so cool about Kansas City being a host city. You are now going to see people from Algeria, from Algiers, be like, hey,
That's pretty cool. I wonder what Kansas City, are they on the same playing field as New York and LA? Like,
somebody had a great tweet. They were like, listen, probably most people outside of the United States think of the U.S. as New York, LA, Vegas, or Disney, right? And that's it. You either got to love it or hate it. And people in America don't like New York and LA. And you get pretty tired of those places.
LA's the only place I like, and it's more just because I like the weather.
Yeah, I guess. And so,
I like Florida.
So, now these people are coming over and realize, okay, that's 1% of 1% of this giant country. And so we follow the guy, the greatest Twitter account going. I think he's got like 400,000 followers now, Freddie.
Oh, I followed him, yeah.
And he hasn't visited any of those spots. He's gone from like Tennessee to Georgia, driving through Alabama, Mississippi, getting to Houston, and is just stopping at all these places almost like it's his own Route 66 trip, but it's not Route 66, stopping alongside of the road, taking pictures of dinosaurs next to gas stations and beachside resorts, and finds a little German town in Georgia and goes whitewater rafting in like all these more quaint places or places that aren't broadcast all over the world outside of the 2 or 3 major cities. So I'm with you. They can discover, there's Kansas City, and there's a lot of places around it. And a lot of these places in between are pretty great. And the overwhelming majority of Americans over here are going to be welcoming us with open arms, and will be over the top hospitable. And this will be a great trip for us. So
he got to New Orleans.
Great. Is he in New Orleans?
Yeah.
He was posting Bourbon Street.
Yeah.
What's he at on the follower count?
He is now at 450,000.
You remember Wednesday?
He was at 200 and something.
Yeah. Jason thought he's at 140. I'm like, no, he's at 180 last night. Then we looked up, he's at 220. So he's almost doubled since Wednesday.
He went to a Bass Pro Shop.
Yes. Oh, mind was blown. European mind was blown there.
That one against. I know people will say I'm too positive about everything I see, but this place was crazy. They had a shooting range in the store.
Yeah, they do. They go fishing in the store.
Yeah, all the fish. Oh my gosh. Yeah, imagine being a. There he goes. They were selling rifles in there.
Well, of course, yeah.
No, I just love that. It's like he's shocked by this.
Walmart, you can buy there.
So they're in New Orleans.
Take it to Walmart. Somebody's got to get him.
He's been to Walmart.
He is
So
the shoes.
Yeah, the shoes. He got at Walmart. Yes.
He went to Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yes, he's been to Waffle House twice now.
And now
he's going to gain 50 pounds.
Oh, 100%. And now he's a huge Ella Langley fan. Good for him. He knows ball.
And then, it's not hard to. There's a fan before I heard her music. Saw the pictures. But somebody on country radio was calling him out, and they got video of the DJ talking about them in the car because he's with a couple other guys. It looks like they're maybe between your guys' age. I'm guessing there's 3 of them. Looks like they're late 20s or something like that.
Sure.
Because they've taken selfies, but they put happy faces over their real faces, just
sure.
They don't want to.
I don't.
They're getting enough.
That's a burner
attention.
thing to do. Twitter burners do that for whatever reason.
Yeah, people have guessed that it's actually an American doing this, looking for attention. But I don't think so. He actually took a picture of his passport saying, "No, I'm from Germany. I live here. Yeah, and all that."
That's awesome.
Because one guy's like, he's speaking perfect English. He's like, we speak a lot of English over there in Germany.
Yeah. It's pretty popular language.
Every country over there, especially the big cities.
While we might not speak other languages over here.
Thank God. And when I went over to Frankfurt to cover the Chiefs-Dolphins game, that was like a baby Chicago. It was like skyscrapers, everybody walking around, business people speaking English. I was like, thank you, appreciate that.
Yeah, because I already butcher the English language, so I don't need another language to butcher. Okay, so getting back to Sorsby, you were getting into your thoughts on the hated, and I actually agree with you as far as if you are a.
I want them to reap so much of what they're selling.
But if you are let's say they're playing on Fox or CBS or ABC, whatever they're playing on, you know how much that network's going to be thrilled to have them on?
100%.
There's going to be even more eyes on them now rooting against them.
They're going to get the best time slot every single Saturday.
If you're a broadcast,
first of all, they're really good.
Correct.
And second of all, you have this going on. And so it's going to be, just the chorus of boos and just the funny signs that'll be in the student sections and all that stuff, the comments that'll get thrown out. It's funny, the 21-minute video they put out today, the 5 of the brass at Texas Tech, everybody's just clowning on how long it is, and it's quite a word salad.
Yeah.
To say, hey, we'll do anything for 30 touchdowns and 5 interceptions.
Correct.
And I love it. The bigger this controversy gets, the better Sorsby becomes on the field. He was a pretty good quarterback last year for Cincinnati. Lost to Nebraska. Should have lost to KU. And was, what were they, a mid-tier Big 12 team? He was 27 touchdowns, five interceptions. I don't begrudge him.
Yeah,
apparently had 2 NFL receivers.
Yeah.
Throwing 2. So
1.5.
1.5 is he?
Jeff called with UDFA.
But okay, he's trending towards that. Maybe be a. If you're on the practice squad, I'll call you an NFL receiver.
Okay, we'll go with that.
Better than most, I'll say that. But really a good quarterback. I mean, he's obviously he was a 4-star, I think, coming up high school. But it's not like we're treating him kind of like he's 97 Peyton Manning or he's like 2000 Michael Vick in college.
Well, I think it's also
these unstoppable rebel forces.
So I've said this where it comes from the tech side of where, to an extent, I do understand why they're doing it.
They're not the only school that would do this, and everybody is aghast. I would say a lot of schools put in this situation, they would look to their own benefit and try their very best
that's my
to serve themselves.
Point. I think Darcy and Jason disagreed. I said, for example, let's say they cut him. Let's say Tech goes, you know what, we're done. Right away they come out and say, we're not dealing with this guy, we're out. I go, another school would pick him up. Another school would pick him up and do an injunction and do the exact same thing. Why wouldn't they? Because we've seen this time. Now, this is a little more of a unique situation.
Look, Iowa and Iowa State had that huge fallout from gambling a few years ago. Simone Award winner here at Olathe North, Arlen Bruce, a stud receiver for Iowa, got caught up in it. He had made some bets, not even on his own team, I don't believe. I can't remember the circumstance. It was nothing to this level for any of them. One of the guys they talk about all the time on the Iowa side, I think he made like one bet on women's college basketball. He was done for his career.
Yeah.
And so, yes, when people see that double standard. But, I mean, Tech is so weak. To do the, what's the latest thing? They've got the Attorney General sending out a salvo beforehand of like, if you don't play Tech, if you sweat not to play us, we're going to sue you. I'm like, okay, it's the worst. Getting sports involved in politics is the absolute worst, and the more Tech does it, the more I hate him for it.
Yeah, it's just a nightmare, but again, the same side. And I guess I understand why, because other teams would do the same thing. And two, I think a big part of this, what do you do when you've paid the guy $5 million? Whatever the NIL thing was, because
eat it. Well, or take it back. Like
I don't know how you can take it back. Would they sue and say, "Hey,
does he have it? Absolutely, breach a contract all the time."
Now you couldn't because you have the injunction that says you can play.
You can sue for anything,
and he would sue him back.
Maybe, I guess. But the biggest deal is like, how is the NCAA the only sports organization in the world that can't enforce its own rules?
Well, that's because they had so much overreach for so long that now to the point where they have no teeth. They only have gums.
Well, they can't afford the lawsuits. But I mean, this opens the door for every league, for every decision, to just find a judge.
Well, correct, and that's what's going to eventually happen until the NCAA, which I think will disband, and something else will be created, a.k.a. the Big Ten/SEC. If you are a have, you will be part of some conglomerate, and if you are a have not, congratulations, you're done.
But, I mean, okay, what's to keep the NCAA at this point by saying, okay, he's been ruled eligible, we are actually going to double down and say any game he plays in will count as a forfeit. If you want to go back to another judge and do this whole rigmarole again, do it, and then we'll come back and say, actually, if he plays,
they have no power anymore.
What's that?
The NCAA.
Why?
Clearly, they have no power.
Why? Why does this not happen in the NFL? I mean, and how far can we take it?
Because I
mean, if
I'm not arguing
disputed
with you,
call at the end of the game, a guy drags his toe in the end zone, they review it, they call out of bounds, replay show he actually was in bounds. What's keeping a school from going to a judge at this point and saying, no, reverse the decision, NCAA?
You and I aren't arguing. You and I are on the same page. The point remains, this is the reality. Clearly, the NCAA doesn't have any power anymore because they can't do anything about this. Looks like they can't do anything until after the season ends.
So, but I mean, what's to keep an NFL team and player from doing this? Or a Major League Baseball team and player? Or NBA or any other league?
I think it's multifaceted. I think, one, it's easier when you have 30 to 32 teams. All the owners are lockstep. All this stuff's already in place. The NCAA has had so much change to where there aren't really rules and regulations anymore. There are 362? 364?
Basketball. Yep.
Basketball. I mean, and that's just
D1.
basketball. And
that's D1. That's NCAA covers Division 2 and Division 3. Too,
and that's just D1 basketball. That's not including football. I mean, there's just, again, it's going to be a breakaway at some point to where I think these major conferences will create their own.
Well, they created this anyway. It's made of the school
100%.
Presidents and athletic directors already. But yeah, so they'll just create another thing, right?
They'll
It's
create the
what
NCAA
happens
times
in the
two.
Middle East, we knock down one terrorist group by giving guns to somebody else, and then they form another terrorist group. And so that's probably not as bad of an analogy compared
That was a wild analogy. Yeah, nice.
Too, but
So
who's the
Sean
NCAA?
McDermott analogy right there.
But I mean, it's true. It's just you're creating something else that is basically the same thing. And so it's just wild to me. I hate that Nick Saban. I agree with Nick Saban on a lot of that stuff he was saying in front of the whatever committee he was in front of. But it's real. It's fresh coming from him. It's really it's hypocritical coming from him. But then also, I mean, every time they get politicians involved and the government involved in sports, it is awful. And this is just another example. I'm still holding out hope. I mean, Tech I think they've been floored by all the negative reaction, hence all the comments that Hokut's been putting out, this 21-minute thing that nobody's going to listen to, that everybody's just going to make fun of. They put out today. TCU, go find TCU.
Yeah.
That counts. Pretty funny.
Do you think it's because they're students and they're not employees and they don't have like a CBA or a players association, so they can kind of just do other stuff because they're students and that?
Yeah, that's part of the CBA is a great point in that they haven't banded together and signed something. I mean, the NFL can always say, actually, no, you signed this right here. You agreed to, okay, this is what happens when you get a DUI or if you substance abuse policy, yada, yada. Go to your team representatives and talk to them for next time when we go to the table. So, yeah, that's probably has a lot to do with it.
Well, and again, because it started with the NCAA having no real rhyme or reason for a lot of what was going on. The teams would say, we want this to be enforced, but not for our school. If another school breaks the law, we want them to be penalized. But if we do it, we're going to push back and fight. North Carolina had fake classes. Didn't matter. We're going to penalize Missouri for having a tutor. Right? That's what ended up happening. And so everyone's going here, well, what the heck? How is this fair? They had classes. Yeah. There was a tutor. They get off, and Missouri is screwed.
Yeah.
And that's just a example. And again, I get from me, it's Rich, Missouri guy. I understand. I think a lot of people that would agree. All my KU fans and friends thought the exact same thing. It was absurd. But when the NCAA started down that path and then NIL opened up because they pushed back for so long and they opened this up prior to having any sort of guidelines, this is where we're at. There's no putting it back in, so it only comes down to where do we go from here?
The next step is somebody's going to bet on his own team. Somebody's going to throw a game and expect to play and fight to be played. That's the very next step we're in.
Well, you have to because it's a mental health travesty if you don't let them play.
I love it. That's where we are in society today.
Where are we at as a society?
The perpetrators are the victims.
Correct.
You don't face any consequences for your own actions.
And so we sit here and watch a dude who broke like the biggest rule in college football.
In all of sports, yes.
Pete Rose couldn't make the Hall of Fame.
No.
But
I feel like the NCAA only wants to crack down on Kansas with the level violations that they got. Could you imagine if this happened now?
Kansas got off pretty easy.
Come on, dude. That's pretty.
I mean, but we're talking about it now.
Take down a banner.
We're talking about it right now.
Take down a banner.
Do you think we've been talking about this right now if it happened?
What?
The violations that the NCAA came down with on Kansas that happened a couple years ago. We're talking about a player betting on his own sport.
Yeah. I agree. It's worse, I guess, than paying players, I guess, before you paid players. But yeah, KU, it was fine. What, they have to forfeit a few wins?
Yeah, it just, yeah. That we all remember, who won the championship? We don't know. It'll get brought back like Reggie Bush's Heisman in a few years anyways.
Well, they didn't win the championship.
Well, I don't care, the banner.
Yeah, you can take it.
It'll be put back up.
I'm mainly
Like
just saying
the Heisman.
The NCAA, it's funny how they've progressively over the years lost their teeth.
Well, yeah, and I mean, look,
They got
was
old.
pushed back forever
Didn't
on
go to
the
the dentist.
NCAA, and their biggest deal was they were so inconsistent across the board. They were hardline with some universities and not with others, right? North Carolina had a fake class, made-up class nobody went to, and they got docked like a roll of tape, right? What's the old saying? NCAA was so mad at Kentucky that they put Cleveland State on probation. Right?
Correct. Yeah.
That whole situation. But we're learning now that those rules and regs were in place for a reason. They had the foresight to see how out of control this would get. And it's gotten out of control really quickly within 5 years.
Yeah. And now we're all on the same side of old people yell at Cloud because now we have young-ish guy, and then Darcy, young guy, yells at college sports.
Yeah.
We all just hate it now.
I mean, you're removed and I hate it.
Yeah.
I was in it last year. I saw it up close and personal. And it has gotten so much worse from just 365 days ago. When I started this job, it's gotten worse. I can't even remember what we were talking about with the NCAA, like June of last year. I think it was it Pavia around
Last
this
year, I
time?
feel like it was like the big deal was like these guys played in NBA games and they're coming back to college.
Correct.
These guys were G League guys
Or
and they're coming back
G
to
League
college.
and drafted.
Yeah, drafted guys, and like, come on, it's gone. It's the pendulum swung so far to where like, okay, these guys, for some of them, a college education just isn't enough. They need to have perks and more of this, and they should name, image, likeness, which I agree with, but that turned into pay for play like that.
Dude,
right?
it literally started off as, they can sign autographs,
jerseys, and normal people are like, okay, how are you going to police that? And the answer is you're not.
Yeah.
And then I still think the worst part of it is the portal. You can go anywhere right away.
Anytime, anywhere.
We're one step away from a college basketball player quitting, Kentucky at Christmas and suiting up for Louisville by
when are the
Martin Luther King Day.
All they have to do is go there and get an injunction
100%.
from some judge.
100%.
Oh, gross. We'll take a break. We'll come back. I do want to talk a little NBA with you, a little soccer with you. We'll also play the cuts to end the show. The Zone at Sports Radio 810 WHB.
All right, folks, the world's biggest soccer tournament, it's arrived. Started yesterday, going on today, and you can trade the entire tournament on Kalshi, Kalshi. And on Kalshi, you can trade every match from the opening stage all the way to the final. The world's largest prediction market. First federally regulated financial exchange dedicated to trading on the outcome of future events. It's regulated in the U.S. and available in all 50 states, not based in a different country. USA in action tonight against Paraguay. 47% the United States is trading at right now to win that match, meaning $100 is going to pay you over $200 in that. Heck, a tie is trading at 30% right now, 3 times the money that you can bring in that particular market and on that trade. Argentina in town here training, and they'll be in action in just a few days here in Kansas City. And on Kalshi, you're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there's no house. As the probability changes, you can buy in and out of your position. And for a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use code JASON810, JASON810 to get $10 when you trade 10. Kalshi, Kalshi. Kalshi, trade the beautiful game.
18 plus only. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. Event contract trading involves risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Prices, values, and available markets may differ from those mentioned. For more information, see kalshi.com/regulatory.
Welcome back to the Zone, Sports Radio 810 WHB. Julian Holmes, Michael Darcy, Mick Schaefer. Did you watch the incredible comeback by the Knicks, or did you turn that thing off?
It was I was working that night. It was on in the office. I stopped paying attention at halftime.
Sure.
I glanced up. I think at the moment it was at the biggest lead. It was 29 points.
29.
My God, it's 30 points and halfway through the third quarter or whatever. And I'm like, okay, even an NBA game, especially with a great team like the Spurs, this thing happened. And so I'm walking up to do sports like 10, 15, 10, 20. I think I saw, did you tweet? Somebody tweeted like, it's amazing how clutch Jalen Brunson is.
That was me, yeah.
I'm like, why would they be tweeting this if there wasn't a big comeback? And so they got in my ear and like, can you believe this game? I'm like, apparently not, because I don't know what's going on. So the Wes over in Weather went over, and right before he turned it on, I looked and I saw they were down 1 with 4 seconds left, and I was like, okay, heck of a comeback. Probably not going to win.
Sure.
And then from the time I looked up to the time I got the TV on, that's when Anunoby got the tip in.
What an incredible performance by OG.
Yeah.
An incredible performance by Jalen Brunson. Jose Alvarado did a very nice, the bench player really stood up in that one. Landry was struggling a little bit this series, and Jose Alvarado came in and made some big shots, and obviously we know he does defensively. He's just a pest. But I give more credit to the Knicks than I did the Spurs collapsing.
I'm the opposite. They scored 30 points in the second half.
30.
Now, maybe that's great defensive effort, but it's more of just like we put it in cruise control effort.
I think it's.
And I didn't see it. So.
Well, no, I think it can be both, right? Like, but yes, I always prefer to try, and it's never fun to say it's both, right? Because we know there's always gonna be both somewhere in there. But I give the Knicks so much credit for their defense, their change of game plan on Wemby, their offensive prowess of just starting to make every single shot, not giving up because Jalen Brunson, their leader, would not give up. I give them a lot of credit for what they did. Now, you have to have things go your way. You have to have Wemby miss 2 free throws. But I also pointed out, I didn't hate De'Aaron Fox. That's been a big conversation. I didn't hate De'Aaron Fox trying to take it to the basket on that steal. I give credit to OG and Anunoby making a great play.
Yeah.
By the way,
it could have been called a foul, too.
He got fouled.
Could have been called a foul, yeah.
He got fouled. But the point remains,
I don't think I don't know if he knew he was that close.
No, he didn't.
He never glanced back. He didn't even take a dribble. He's like, I'm just going to lay this in, and I get it, take the points. But I think if he glances back, obviously the smart move is, like, okay, I'm going to dribble this out to the corner. By the time you get to foul me, we got 3 or 4 more seconds to roll off the clock. I have a chance to make 2 free throws there. Game's over.
Yeah. Smart move was to pull out.
Isn't it always?
But you also just saw Wemby miss 2 free throws. Mm-hmm. Madison Square Garden's going insane. De'Aaron has to make 2 to make it a 3-point game.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't hate him trying to be a little more aggressive in that situation. We know the result, and so we obviously will criticize.
If you have to take a dribble or 2, yeah, you should be able to collect yourself and look back and realize where you are. He was right there to where 2 steps, and I think he just thought he was pretty much all alone.
He's one of the fastest players in basketball, and so you think, this is easy.
Yeah.
And hit OG, and then the tip-in was just incredible. Cat with a great defensive play on ball on that pass in, because Castle was wide open. That was a great play call by the Spurs. Wemby was the decoy. It was the KU play. This is the KU inbound play all the time. The back screen, the guy goes around, easy oop. We see them do this all the time. And they almost did a different version of where Wemby was the screen setter and Castle went back. He was wide open, and just Cat did a great job tipping it. So now the Knicks sit at 3-1. The fans are absurd. I can't stand them. Like, after games, Knicks fans just they're bleeps, dude. They're just a bunch of clowns. I get being excited.
They trash a Freddy's.
You're like, congrats. You're rioting. You're ripping off other people's jerseys.
It's the most overrated town in the history of civilization.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Nashville, Vegas is probably number 1. But yeah, I get it. Do the Spurs, after that massive collapse, roll over? Or do they still
back in San Antonio?
Back in San Antonio.
Tonight, or is it tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. I think it's going to go at least 6 games. I think they rally. I mean, look, they dominated that game for 3 quarters, the better part of 3 quarters, and I feel like a lot of that was on them just letting off the gas. And so I think they're good enough to go and win one, although they lost both at home already this series. So I will say Knicks in 6, and all the star power in Game 6 is going to get them the win there.
I wish Game 7 was New York, because the pressure on the Knicks would be palpable. Because I do think the first 2 games in New York, we saw them both times. The Knicks came out real slow.
Yeah.
Real nervous. Like, not slow as in like there's no energy. Yep. Slow as in this moment looks a little too big.
It's
for
a different
them right
mindset, man. You think, okay, we have all this support here. There's you almost like can freeze up to where you like we have to honor that. We have to make these fans happy, as opposed to you go into an environment where you are hated, right, on the road, and you kind of rally around. It's like, okay, we're playing house money here. Just throw it all out there. We have nothing to lose. And a lot of times you play better that way.
Yeah, done the same thing. USA, Paraguay. You getting excited to watch? Again, we talked about.
I got plans. I already played 9 holes today.
Where at?
Shawnee Golf and Country Club, the only place to play.
How'd you play?
Well, I had would it be a Baskin Robbins card? I had a birdie. I had a couple. I only played 9 holes. I had 3 pars.
Nice. 1 under.
So far, I had make sure I get the math right here. 3 bogeys.
Okay, so you're 2 over, not bad.
But problem is, I'm going upwards still. I got 2 more holes to go. I had a double, and I tripled a par 5. That was a fun day.
7 over.
I was 7 over through, like 4 or 5. So I brought it back. So I feel better about things.
It's better to end on a high note.
100%. Yes. And so yeah, couples golf tonight, and then we're going to go watch Paraguay and Team America.
Nice. Are you nervous at all about USA playing in America? Because part of me it's the Knicks factor, where there's more pressure on you because you're playing at quote unquote home.
But they're like, the rankings came out a couple days ago. They're like number 24th in the world. They're in the middle. They're like an 8 seed in the NCAA tournament. They're right in the middle.
They're going to make some noise, is what we're saying.
Are they? I hope so. I expect this
They're the
team,
Missouri of
this is a team
playing
capable
at home in St. Louis.
In my untrained eye, I think they will make the knockout rounds, and they'll make the basically final 16. Because 32 go to knockout. I think they're good enough to win a game there.
I hope so. I hope so.
I think that's the ceiling.
I'm trying.
But I don't know.
I'm excited because I'm doing Fan Fest over the weekend. I'm going down. I want USA to just. I want them to be good so bad, because you know me, I'm not the biggest soccer guy in the world, but I love rooting for America.
Yeah,
like it's one of those things where, like, we as an American, we can make fun of us.
Doesn't matter what they're doing.
Other countries can't make fun of us. Okay, it's like your brother.
100%.
And I want the United States slapping red, white, and blue all over it. I want to see them progress and go far.
I'm trying to find it here. There was a guy who posted, hey, explain it to me. Here we go. This is it. The tweet was, allows me to watch Team USA. For us lacking any background knowledge on the roster, who are Team USA's guys who they can't live without guys, the glue guys, all that stuff. This guy comes in and does NFL comparisons to all these guys. So he says, Pulisic, Peyton Manning, face of the franchise, gets too much credit when they win and too much blame when they lose. I'm like, okay.
Okay, I love this, yeah.
Adams, he's Ray Lewis. If he's playing well, everyone looks better. Like, okay.
Nice, yeah.
McKinney, Gronk, controlled chaos.
Okay. Sound like a good team right now. We have Peyton Manning and Ray Lewis and Gronk.
And Tillman is that rookie your scout buddy swears is next. So, whatever that means.
That would be like Justin Ross, I think, back in the day.
Would be, yes. That would be. Which rookie are you high on that just probably has no chance?
Oh, man.
Is there a UDFA guy that you just love?
Oh,
you got to. You love the tertiary part of the roster.
Would you say?
Are you a big I want to say David DeJesus, Jacob DeJesus guy, like the 5'8" receiver.
You're all about John Michael Gillenborg. I'm telling you guys, okay, I've seen this guy's film at Rockhurst, and
I'm telling you, Kyer Elam with new scenery. Not a rookie.
I knew you were not a rookie, but yeah.
It was only four guys he went through. Or did he go through the whole team?
He went through 4, but I'm like, okay, this is good. I think they might have added on to it, but and then some guys like comparing these guys to all-time greats is hilarious.
Well, that's my thought. You compare him to Peyton Manning, Ray Lewis, and Gronk.
Well, I wish we had those guys.
This seems like a good team.
Yes.
Isn't the point that they are the best in the country? The country's just not that.
And there's never been Paraguayan NFL players, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, so I think that Team USA has us in the bag then.
So did I see Turkey's the favorite in the group?
Probably. And they were like the last one because they had to win the stages to get in here.
So, Phil, is this like the 2-3 matchup, I want to say?
Probably 2-3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, USA, baby.
In LA, it's in SoFi?
Yes, in SoFi.
That'd be cool. That's maybe the coolest World Cup venue ever.
You want to hop on a plane real quick after the show?
Yeah. Can you have more expendable money than me? Don't pay your pond bill, okay? Let's go.
Let's not pay the pond bill.
Yes.
Sorry, pond guy. Appreciate all the work you did, but me and Mick Schaefer have to hop on a plane.
Hey, let me know, Michael, if in like a month he starts calling his pond like a lake that he's got back there.
It's
just gets a
called
bigger
a pond.
body of water.
The
each
ocean
time.
in my backyard.
Yes. It's called Sterling Sea.
Sterling Stream.
The greatest body of water ever, Sterling Stream. That's a good name for it, actually.
Thank you, yeah. We'll take a break. We'll come back. Cuts. I think we may have made a cut or two in that segment. Not on purpose, just obviously out of context. Take a break, come back. Cuts next to end the Friday edition of The Zone. Oh, baby. Just like that 11th defensive back, let's cut it up.
We've got him keeping 14.
It may be more than tarps off if Eldridge knocks one out of here.
Well, I'm going to hold you to it. Time to drop trowel and hog out.
That's just me. You've heard me say
By the
that.
way, he had a
verbatim.
grand slam after that.
Incredible.
They came back.
Well, did he then drop trow? And
I don't think he hogged out. I think that would have been more viral than what we just heard.
3-0 lead. We've been competing with Cardi B here.
We lost. Hey, I don't know if those B's. That might be Cardi D's. I sure am. New love indeed. I'm pretty sure those are B's. I don't know who said that, but I know it wasn't Chuck, you let her down. You can't get to me, Kath. I told you to.
She got the wrong initials.
Let me just drop. He's kept going.
He's so funny. He's so funny. God, I love him on
And
that
finally,
show.
we got the big Champions League final coming up this weekend. Danny Klingscale just sat down. He's a gooner, okay? Is he going to be happy or sad when it's over?
Careful.
Yo.
Careful. That's like a derogatory slang term that Oklahoma State fans call Sooners, but it also means other thing.
Yeah.
Love the sausage.
Whoa.
My mouth's empty. Talk to me.
Don't call me daddy. Jeez.
Gosh, Mick.
Others around the area, he's too light in the cakes.
Too light in the cakes.
I've stolen a fry off my little brother, his plate, and he's 14, and he goes, "Watch it, fat boy." That was like 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Wow.
I am just dandy, Saran. I don't know a time that I never don't need crack filling. So
yeah, okay.
Matt is so consistent. He turns out so
one a
many.
week, 1 to 2 a week.
Very efficient.
Yeah,
for as little as
volume shooter.
I want to bang for this.
No.
This is the pounding table.
That's an oldie but a goodie.
That's
there.
a strong one, yeah. Nothing wrong with that one.
I mean, you can't really tell the girth on that thing.
It looks pretty good.
Yeah.
It looks girthy.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I could probably put that down.
It's not even, you can't even get the whole thing in there.
Yeah.
And a little. I'm looking at it. It looks
good.
You said what's the? It looks like a
Girthy?
fat wiener.
Yeah.
If you see, well, you laugh all you
Looks
want.
like a
Bull in the China shop.
Look right there, you can see the tip. See,
Oh yeah, you can.
it's
Just the tip.
compared like to
His
mouth to tip ratio looks about.
Keep going.
Yes.
Normally Jake's the one that's the bull in the China shop, as
Yeah.
Steven has the nuance. Not that time. Not that time.
And that's a lot of meat for one man. I had one in my mouth when you asked, "Are you ready to go?" And I said yes, and proceeded to put one more in my mouth.
It was burn ends.
Oh, okay.
It was
That
burn
some-
ends. It
something
was not
else.
what
happened?
Steven was alluding to. It was burn ends.
You look in the sports page and say, "Good God, can anybody catch Scotty Scheffler as far as the?" What is a sports page, Pete? Let's back up and start right there. Well, I don't know. Yeah, that's true. For our younger listeners, how's that? It was What was a. that? It was papyrus, and
They would bring it to your house?
Yes, they did, and
Now, the younger listeners know papyrus is a font on their computer, not as an actual thing.
yeah. Are you talking about the only medium that used to accept strip club ads? Is that what you're talking about? Oh, I think I remember that.
Those are fun to remember.
Yeah.
14.
We had some moments.
Hey, Dad, what's Old Chelsea? A soccer team? Nope.
So why does Joe have so many diamonds? What is this all about?
Why is the lady
And is
so
this-
shady?
You get a Pete Enoch in there, you know it's going to be good.
Was Old Chelsea? That was an old place in town.
Huh?
Before my time. Been a long time. Not that long, I guess.
Before mine.
Yeah.
What happened?
So I asked Shaq, I said, after the Cardi B's, those are Cardi D's. I said, Chuck, that's what he says on air. So I go, Shaq, what's he saying off air? He starts cracking up laughing. He goes, he's a good guy. He's trying to let me know he's a good guy.
It'd be great to just be in a position where, like, I'm daring my company to fire me.
What are you
Every
gonna
night,
do?
I'm fine.
Fire
Whatever
me?
happens. It's great leverage
I got,
to have.
6 years left of my contract? Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
I feel like you're like that some days on the radio.
No. I don't have that I don't have that stability.
Yeah, but
I'm
you have
just
that
a-
confidence.
Yes, I'm just a dumbass.
Misplaced. No self-awareness.
Without confidence, all I have is my good looks, Mick.
I knew that was coming.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing.
Come on now. USA tonight?
Good. Yes, I'll be cheering for them.
No, do they get it done?
Yeah, it'll be something